Okay. Here we fucking go again. Right. I might need a little moment here just to get myself sorted out. I've not done serious streaming for a little while. Might be a little out of practice. Also, I've got a bit of a new setup. Well, actually not new setup, just same setup but different location. So it's possible that my stuff will be, I don't know, a little bit messed up. I might need to work out some technical issues. We'll deal with that as it comes. Please do let me know if you notice anything's obviously wrong. I think my chat there is a little awkwardly cropped, actually. That's probably good enough. Right. Let me pop that over there. So, what the fuck are we doing? Well, basically, I'm really fucking bored of waiting for 15AI to come back, and I've decided that 15AI is down is no longer a valid excuse for not making stuff, because I can still animate, quote unquote. And I've also got a load of new assets, so background assets like you can see on the screen there, and also characters, and some props. And I need to sort and organize all of that, and also I need to learn how to use Vegas properly. I've had a little bit of coaching on it, but that was a while ago, so I'm going to need to refamiliarize myself with it. And this time I am actually committing to moving away from Blender, because, well, anyone who was on the stream, or any of the previous ones who's watched me use Blender knows how much of a fucking nightmare it is to use. It's intuitive, yes, but it is a horrendous slog. Anyway. So I don't have much of a plan of what order I'm going to do things in right now. This is more of a get my sea legs back kind of stream, I guess. And just get my head screwed on, get my shit together, understand what I've got. So, I've created a new folder in here, character assets, backgrounds, and props. So in previous times I've had my assets all just in a folder for each thing. By thing I mean each video. So for example, something like, let me find it. Twilight Drunkle, for example, the first major thing I ever made. Right now, in this assets folder, sits basically all of my character assets. And that's not ideal, because they're not in like an organized place. They're in like a subfolder inside a video project. So one of the jobs is going to be just moving them all into be one place and then merging them with new pictures that have come from the animation leaks, the studio stuff. Let me show you that. It's empty, probably because I've not moved it over yet. I think... Yeah, I need to remind myself. Yeah, it's this one. No, it's not this one. It's one of these. It's this one. I am pretty sure. Here we go. So here's a lot of fairly similar pictures of Applejack, but you'll notice in a lot of these that they actually follow a kind of movement of sorts. And that's because these pictures are rendered directly from the animation asset. So all of these form part of an actual animation from the show. And what I did was, with a little help from Synthbot, I had a script made that would render every 6th picture in the sequence, so I could get a large library of poses, but not rendering every single frame, because that would have been... I mean, for Applejack alone here, there's 3,364. When you scale that up to every other character that you could have, that would be too many. But I think what I've got here is a good number. So lots of good poses here, and lots of actual in-between frames. So if you watch, let me try and zoom in on some of these. I want to show you with all of the pictures in like one nice little line. Let me see if I can find a good one. Well, what this one actually is here, this line, this is actually a walk cycle. If you can envision that. But let's see if I can find something a bit more obvious. Oh yeah, I should stick some music on. I actually have a playlist now that I play locally. This one goes out to all you motherfuckers that hopefully the volume's alright. You know who you are. Let me know how the balance is. Okay, so what I've got here that I want to show... I mean, I hope that's just by... Ah, here we go, here's a good one. So we've got Applejack standing, looking off to one side, an in-between frame of her lifting up a leg and also having her head come to the center, and now she's looking the other way with her leg extended. You see? So having these kinds of assets, well, one, there's just as they are, there are lots of transparent pictures of the characters in high quality, rendered directly from the show assets. Very, very useful. But for the kind of animation, quote-unquote, that I do, having little in-betweens like this would actually be very, very useful. So one of the big jobs that I need to do is merge these character assets with the ones that I already have. Those being the ones that I got from just downloading them off the Burus and Derby Buru and DeviantArt, such like. So yeah, that's a fairly broad overview of what I'm going to be doing. You would have seen the title of the video, no doubt, and I'm sure wondering, what am I actually animating? Like, what is this all eventually in aid of? It's another story, similar to the tax breaks. There's going to be major spoilers. I mean, on the off chance that you thought that wouldn't be spoilers from watching a behind the scenes, but I figure I may as well give you this fair warning now. But hey, if you look in the description of the YouTube video on here, I've linked the story that I'm going to be doing. And similar to the tax breaks, I want it to be something that's fun, but also could have been reasonably an episode that could have actually fit within the show, you know? So a reasonable situation and ponies reacting in a reasonable way for the most part. So the general idea behind this is that Pinkie receives some very disturbing news. Actually, I've made one thing in advance, just one thing. Let me go and find that for you. To go back to voice clips, and I need to go to hugs. Scene 1. 6. And here we go. So Pinkie's eating breakfast outside Sugar Cube Corner one morning, and she reads a very disturbing newspaper article. Here we go. Price of hugs set to soar. Imminent increase attributed to raw material shortage. The Black Sheep Company's sudden strike action affects the supply of sheep's wool in Equestria. Now, of course, price of hugs set to soar? Well, that's very concerning for Pinkie, because if hugs are going to start costing money, well, is she going to have to decide who gets hugs now on a merit-based system? And who's going to be enforcing these rules? So Pinkie's going on a quest to, 1, find out what's going on behind the scenes of this insidious plot, and to give a final free hug to all the ponies in Ponyville before midnight, before the price rises, from 0 to something. So if you want to read the full story, it's linked, like I said, in the YouTube video. Actually, I could probably grab it for you if you would. Actually, I'm sure you're capable of finding it if you really want to. It's called Free Hugs on FemFiction, same name. Right. I think that's enough setup for now. That's Steam, I don't want to open that, I want to open my browser again. Right. So what should I do first then, do you think? I'd already done a fair bit of stuff with the backgrounds yesterday before I decided, hey, let's actually stream this. Okay, so I'm gonna go for backgrounds first, I think, since I'd already done a fair bit of work on that. Nope, this one. Backgrounds. So, these backgrounds all come from the animation assets, and these are all just icons, they're not the full res. I've just got a low-res version here for easy browsing in the File Explorer, but they have an associated vector image in another folder adjacent to this, so I can get these in as high a resolution as I want. And what I've done so far is I've taken all of those and I've grabbed them, the ones that match to locations in Ponyville, and then I've further subdivided them by, locations. So Carousel Boutique, Cutie Mark Crusader Clubhouse, Sweet Apple Acres, Sugar Cube Corner, stuff like that. So I guess the first question I need to answer is, do I actually need to do anything else with this? With these ones, probably not. I've already subdivided these. The rest of these that haven't been sorted are just generic outdoor locations in and around Ponyville. So the only thing that remains to be done here, I think, is this new folder. So this is a temporary folder, and this contains backgrounds that I've downloaded manually from the Burus and from DeviantArt, just as a little extra stuff to have, you know, because we have the studio leaks, but they didn't leak every single episode, you know, it's only a handful. So we've got some very high quality things, but they are a bit specific, shall we say. So this is just an option for me to have extra pictures. Some of them are annoyingly low res, but I could put them through an upscaler if I really need to. I'd rather not, because that tends to introduce a bunch of artifacts and such, but the option is there if I need it. So what I need to work out is how I want to sort these. Because if I start putting them in with the other ones, these, I mean, they'll be distinctive because they have a completely different kind of file name. So that might not actually be too bad an idea. I guess I could do that unless someone else comes up with a better idea. Okay. So I think I'll make that task. Here we go then. Every journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Or lots of single steps in this case. So I'm going to cut all of these. I'm going to put them in. They weren't all Ponyville, were they? Tell you what, I'll create a new folder in here. Temporary folder. And then I'll make a new tab up here. Ponyville, and let's start with Carousel Boutique. So anything in here that relates to Carousel Boutique will move to the Carousel Boutique folder. Simple enough. I sure do hope you like watching me sort things, because that's what most of this stream and many subsequent streams are gonna be. Right, here we go.
I stumbled into Ponyville one afternoon by chance and found the biggest ever celebration party dance. Everything was perfect, cheer was filling up the place, and I saw that every pony had a smile upon their face.
Seeing anything from Carousel Boutique? Okay. Well, let's start with the library then. instead.
Pony full of glee, a super duper party pony. That's what I became. I traveled all Equestria and all did know my name. But that never would.
Oh yeah, I don't think I've asked yet, but is the balance of the music volume to my microphone okay? Is anything too loud or too quiet?
It was you.
That's Sugar Cube Corner, not library, dumbass. Come on. Get your head in the game.
Really?
So I was the pony that threw the awesomely spectacular party that inspired you to become an awesome spectacular party thrower?
Swear on Camembert.
Super duper party ponies, that is me and you. A party thrown by one is good, but not as great as two. Come on and let's join forces, have twice the expertise. Now let's all go to the party, plan like Pinkie, Pie, and Cheese. What are you looking at? He thinks he can score with the mayor on the football team. Isn't that just precious? I think he's getting
You know, I'm not feeling super sexy right now, so something else. It's quite a few library pictures, this is nice. Oh yeah, in case anyone is new to this and doesn't know, anything past Season 2 does not exist. Therefore, there will be no Crystal Friendship Castle bullshit in this Golden Oaks library. You can only imagine how long it takes to get the right pose, background, or general. It'll be worth it. It is worth it in the end, but it does take a long time to get there, I must say. I mean, the tax breaks, that took... I don't even want to cast my mind back that far. I still have nightmares. But 200-300 hours, that sort of range, that's what you're looking at. But the time alone doesn't paint the full picture, because some of those hours you're perfectly fine, having a great old time, and some of those hours you just want to fucking kill yourself, you know? But this stuff for now is easy, and hopefully is going to set the groundwork to make everything a breeze later on. Famous last words, touch wood. There you go, my desk's made of wood, I can do that. Ah, here you go, I like this. This is the balcony on Golden Oaks Library. That's a very nice picture there. There's some really good stuff in the Breweries and on DeviantArt if you're prepared to wade through the quagmire of autism that comes with going to those kinds of sites. Right. Library. Paste them in here. Done. Just give me one sec here. Sec. Right, moving on then. And we're just going to keep doing that for all the others. So, this is actually inside Sweet Apple Acres. Let's do Sweet Apple Acres next then. Oh, hang on, I've missed a library picture here. Nothing past Season 2 exists, can the Kieran be an exception? I will make an exception for the Kieran. Kieran are allowed to exist. In fact, there exists an altered version. So the Kieran was actually, the Kieran episode was one of the episodes that leaked. And by leaked, I mean absolutely everything leaked. So much so that the guys were able to actually take the full animation assets and re-render the entire thing in 8K. that was quite nice to watch. Actually, in these backgrounds as well, I can show you later if you want. I've got a whole load of Kieran stuff in there. In fact, some of the animation things in the top... So all the animations that you see in the top corners of the screen right now, they're from the show, as in rendered directly from the animation assets. And you'll see some Kieran sprinkled in and around there, probably. Assuming I remember to put them in the little animation playlist. I'm pretty sure I did.
Do not touch the patient. Analyzing heart rhythm. Shock advised. Friends pass by and sees no way out. Just like a looping tail.
Is that Sweet Apple Acres? Yeah, that's inside AJ's house. That's the CMC clubhouse. That doesn't count as Sweet Apple Acres.
But for you not off, just you wait. What's on the 10th fold? Taking action, just be bold.
That's Sugar Cube Corner.
And resuscitate. 'Cause it ain't too late to defibrillate. Now gotta bump the thread. You've got to bump the thread. Just like your grand old uncle said, don't let that thing go red. Hey, now you gotta bump the thread before you go to bed. And even if the pulse ran dry, you just can't let it die.
Does that count? I don't think so. If any, that hardly counts as a background, actually. But hey, no harm in having it, I guess. Right. We're making good progress. This shouldn't take too long. There's only 372 items to sort here. I've slogged through way less than that. But then again, not streamed for a while, so I am a little out of practice. Just taking it easy, getting back into it. Okay, that's all the Sweet Apple Acres. Copy that to clipboard. And Sweet Apple Acres paste. Right, back to the top. Off we go. So, for fuck's sake. There's always going to be just one that you miss, isn't there? There we go. Right, Ponyville, in general, pictures, they'll remain unsorted. Let's do Sugar Cube Corner next. So just generic outdoor locations around Ponyville, they'll stay the same. As in, not go into a folder. They'll just have a general Ponyville folder. I've missed 2 for Sweet Apple Acres there. That is terrible, come on. I hope you're finding this entertaining. Thanks for the efforts. You're very welcome. Someone's got to keep the lights on. This is inside Sugar Cube Corner at night. It's a bit hard to see, but it is. Actually, no. This and this, those are inside Carousel Boutique. There's a lot of nuance to some of these pictures. Is nuance the right word? Maybe. Doesn't really matter. That's the Sugar Cube Corner Bakery. Actually, no, I think that's Applejack's kitchen. Those look like green apples, though, and that's an apple time. Yeah, that's actually inside Sweet Apple Acres. I've missed loads of Sweet Apple Acres, my god. This is Sugar Cube Corner. It's the oven. That's the oven where Apple Bloom burned all the cupcakes. Good times, good times. Sugar Cube Corner. Step out of the shadows and into the light where it's bright and you might see all the colors you are. I like this song, this is great. Rainbow Road Trip was a good special. Corner. Actually, corner. That's Rarity's house. It's Pinkie's bedroom. It's Pinkie's bathroom.
Make up any colors that you can devise. Mix them up, watch the joy
Okay.
as it multiplies. Make a rainbow when you
Sugar Cube Corner.
together we are like one when we harmonize. Why just be black and white? No need to hide all those colors.
Alright, so I'm going to do another quick pass for Sweet Apple Acres because I saw I missed a bunch there.
It just feels right to be living in color. We'll be living in color. To be living in color.
That's Carousel Boutique, that's Sweet Apple Acres.
Hello, my friend. It's a big bright yellow. Violet's what you get when you're feeling mellow.
Ready to part.
You know, I've just realised I was really stupid when I was downloading these pictures. Because when I was doing this, I was searching for key terms like Sweet Apple Acres and Carousel Boutique. I just should have made folders at the time and downloaded them straight into those sorted folders. Then I wouldn't have had to do this.
You all about living color.
Ugh. Hindsight really is 2020. And you realise just how much of a fucking dumbass you are sometimes. Discovered my videos a few days ago and my channel's fire even though I don't have like a video. Blah 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 blah. Okay. You watch them at night like podcasts. As in like the streams? I'm surprised that someone's able to get enough entertainment out of that. I mean, is my voice like nice and relaxing for you, I guess? Maybe? Not quite how I imagined people would be listening and or watching, but hey, if it works for you, all the more power to you. Give a shout and they'll hear you. Fun fact, this story was mostly composed by an AI. And then BGM turned it into a song. Okay. I think I've got all the Sweet Apple Acres pictures now. Okay. Sweet Apple Acres. Right. So, two major locations still to do off the top of my head. That is Carousel Boutique and Fluttershy's Cottage. And then I think that should leave us with just general outside Ponyville pictures. And then that'll be us done for this little section here. So let's do Carousel Boutique. Not sure what this is. No, I can't say that looks familiar. Might have to leave that for now. Why do you never make videos on the channel? I think you meant channel. Not sure what you mean there, mate. I've got plenty of videos on my channel. Are you maybe asking why I've been away for so long? 2 reasons. 1, 15AI has been down, so that kind of kills a lot of your motivation. And 2, I've been very busy at work and I've moved house recently. Just haven't had the fucking time. But 15AI is still down, but I refuse to let that be a valid excuse anymore. I can still plan animations and get things ready. And then have stuff. I can take as long as I want, but I don't want to take forever. That sugar cube corn, for fuck's sake. I'm going to keep doing this over and over again, just missing 1 or 2 pictures here or there. And it's going to annoy the living hell out of me. And probably you guys as well. Carousel. So yeah, we will be doing some... There is a scene here that takes place in Carousel Boutique in this little story that I'm going to be animating. And surprisingly enough, Carousel Boutique doesn't actually have that many assets for it. In the show, we don't actually go inside Carousel Boutique all that often, so there's not a huge amount of material for it. So really, I need to take as much as I can get for that location. Right, Carousel Boutique. Right, now I'll do Fluttershy's cottage, and then I'll do one more pass to pick up any stragglers that got missed. Yeah, this one for Carousel Boutique right there. Right, Fluttershy's cottage. Does this count as Fluttershy's cottage? It's the tree just outside where she has the birds. Is there an updated list of such songs somewhere? Not one that I have that's easily shareable, I don't think. Maybe I do. But I mean, I've got all of this linked to my iTunes library and I'm just playing that. I don't have them all packaged in a nice convenient location to just post a link in the chat. You tried to support my channel because you tried to do what you did once it was really tiring and hard. You don't need to feel obliged to support my channel or anything. I'll just get that out there. But hey, if I can inspire at least one person to try and do this. I mean, part of the whole point of what I do here is to try and show you don't need amazing skills or knowledge to make good stuff. The AI and stuff isn't all that difficult to use. You know, when it's actually up and running, which right now it isn't. Might be a bit of a stretch to call it her cottage. That's what I'm thinking. This is outside Fluttershy's cottage, I'd say that counts. I mean, this bridge is very distinctive. Doo-doo-doo. Oh no. No, no, no. Too sad. Also, it's not Christmas yet, we're not playing any Christmas songs. That's Fluttershy's cottage, that's inside Fluttershy's cottage, all of this is Fluttershy's cottage, here we go. All seems to be grouped up into one long thing. think that's outside Fluttershy's cottage. Is it? This? Actually, no, I don't think so. Change my mind. That is. Okay. No, I don't seem to have a folder for Fluttershy's cottage yet. Okay, let's make one of them. You gotta head out? Alright, no worries. Gothic's posted in this. So, you guys can probably see in the pinned message that I've got this other chat over here. It's on SciTube. I link you to that because, one, we've got better emotes over there, and two, you can post links in the chat without YouTube getting pissy at you for it. I do try to watch both chats, but it can be tiresome sometimes, so I try and direct you to use just one. Since this is the first public stream I've done for a while, I make the allowance that people probably don't know as much about the SciTube thing that I sometimes do, so I'm making more of an effort to watch the YouTube one this time, but I'll probably transition more over to SciTube chat in future episodes, as those who decide to watch this regularly become more familiar with it and what I do. Okay, so these are associated with Sweet Apple Bakers. There we go. Do I have one made up for Rainbow Dash's Cloud House? No. We're not going to be inside Rainbow's Cloud House for this little episode thing. So I might... There's a whole load of other stuff that I'm not sorting yet. So I mentioned earlier that I've got a load of stuff for Kieran's, for example. I'll scroll down and find those for you, just to show as an example. So I've got a whole load of stuff in Canterlot here as another example. Where's the Kieran episode? Probably gone past it, actually. Here we go. So these backgrounds here, as I scroll through them, you should recognize this as the Kieran village, right? Low res, but it's just an icon. There's a vector version of all of these that I can render in as high a resolution as I want. These icons here are just for easy scrolling. So if ever I need forest locations, or indeed Kieran locations, they're there. Okay. Got a little sidetracked there, but... Right, I'm gonna give this one last in-depth pass just to pick out any individual things that I missed, and then I'll move on to doing some character assets. Do I have a separate one for the town hall? Yes, I do. Is it possible to sort it there just for sake of future episodes? Cost of efficient use time. As in, just sort everything now? Maybe? But I don't really save any time if it's not something that I am likely to ever use myself. If it was something that I was going to share with everyone else, which I could do, I mean, yeah, I can share it with everyone, but that's not the purpose for this. This is for my own use, my own selfish use, but once I'm finished sorting all of this, I can upload it somewhere, probably. I don't know how big it's gonna be. It'll be very big, actually. Several gigabytes worth, at least. The city's cold and empty, now no one's around to judge me. I don't see clearly when you're gone. Oh. No, that counts as Sweet Apple because even if it is just a few. That's Sugar Cube Corner. This is an obscure one, but I'm pretty sure this is also Sugar Cube Corner as well. Like, this is like the corner of Sugar Cube Corner. Sugar Cube Corner, if you will. I'm 90% confident I'm right about that. This here is the schoolhouse. I do have a folder for that. There it is. Yes, and Bot has all the original files with all the animation links. That's where all of this stuff comes from. We've got Town Hall and Schoolhouse here. Let's do Schoolhouse first, since I already have that open. Here we go. That's the Town Hall.
It's time to make a change. This is our chance. Don't be afraid to do what's right. Ease it! Go for Pip! We've got an opportunity to have fun again.
Schoolhouse.
A vote for Pip and
Somewhat appropriate with the song playing right now.
it's time for a new leader. It's time to make a change. We're here to fight for what we believe. Vote for Pip! It's finally time we beat her and play a better game. 'Cause when we vote together,
It's the library.
that we can't achieve. I don't believe what I am hearing. I'm the only one you should be cheering. Pipsqueak, try Pip's weak, don't you think? But a diamond is perfection, it's a natural.
Does this count as Town Hall?
Better be for me, not the weakest link. We'll let the vote
I'm gonna say
decide.
no, since it's in the background.
Every pony has their little
Likewise for this.
I know you do.
This is on the outskirts of Ponyville. It just happens to have Town Hall in the background.
You keep them safe, like your creepy super strength, or your main extension, a little thing I won't mention.
Clubhouse. We need to do that as well.
Come on now, ponies, don't listen to her. You've gotta vote for change. It's time for a new leader.
No, Schoolhouse first, then Clubhouse.
Vote now and we can beat her. It's now another day.
Are there any other clubhouses? Not right now.
Right, vote for Pip, vote for Pip. Our victory is in sight. Stop! Every pony who hasn't voted, listen up. Pip makes promises he can't keep, but I can do more. You could really use a new book bag.
That's the
I make things happen
schoolhouse.
that none of you here can afford.
To do like ever.
Wouldn't you like a little something sweet? Here's a parasol to hide you from the heat. Who says that I can't be nice? But first there's one thing, an itsy bitsy little string, and voting for
And
me is
Clubhouse
the
again.
price. I've a tiny suggestion that you should be aware. You could probably win this election if you show them all you really care. I don't recall asking you to speak. Well, if that's how you treat your best friend, then I choose Pipsqueak.
Okay.
Stand strong and don't be afraid.
This is hopefully the last pass I have to do with these folders. That's the Town Hall. Okay. I'm now happy enough that I've gotten everything out of it. So I'm going to take all of these now out of the temp folder, and I'm going to put them in the generic Ponyville folder. So the generic Ponyville folder, just as a reminder, is just locations in and around Ponyville, not one specific location. Like just in Ponyville with some houses in the background, that sort of thing. And then now I can delete the temporary folder. Okay. Background's basically done, yeah. Or at least as done as I think they can be right now. So let's move on to characters. So I've currently got nothing in here, and I've got two main things that I need to move over. This might take a little. Or maybe it won't, I don't know. You jumped straight to 99 and now you're sitting here. You see, the 99% is probably it doing all of the folders, and then thinking it's nearly done, and then realizing, oh shit, I've got to do the stuff inside the folders as well. Because each of these is, it's empty now. But is it done? Huh. That went by a lot faster than I thought it would. So, just as a reminder, that's what I've got. Animations from the show, like the studio leaks, whereby I've rendered every 6th frame to give me a lot of pictures, but not an absurdly large amount. And then this needs to be combined with the other pictures that I already have that were used in previous projects, because everything you saw just there was brand new, not used before. At least not by me. So, all of my old assets are actually kept in the folder for Twilight Drunk, the first animated thing I ever made in this assets folder. And I'm going back in time here, I kind of need to remember how I did all of this. There's not very many Applejacks, which I find odd. Why are there so few Applejacks? It's not going to be generated lines. No. Okay, so is that really everything I had for Applejack? Actually, I think I know what might have happened here. No. It can't be. Because in Twilight Drunk, Applejack didn't really do anything, she just sat in a bar stool on there. But in the tax breaks, I had Apple. They're probably in the tax breaks folder, actually, now that I think about it. That would probably be what's going on. Starring ritual texting. What did I name it? Have you ever gone back through all your old folders and then just had no fucking idea what you're looking at? No matter how meticulously you organise something, if you come back to it 6 months later, you're just going to look at it and go, what the fuck is any of this? It must be this. Did I call it pony taxes or taxi? Where the fuck has it gone? Okay, I'll shelve Applejack for now, I'll come back to it. Off to a roaring start right now. Celestia. Celestia's going to be a similar case, I think. Where most of hers are going to be in the tax breaks folder that I need to go and find. Similar for Fluttershy. So really the only one that I think this might actually apply to is Twilight. Okay. Though that's possibly making me think, did I maybe copy all of the Twilight pictures over into the tax breaks as well? Like whatever folder I used for that. Oh. I have another idea of something I can potentially check. I have more than one hard drive. tax breaks might be on one of my other drives. Oh, I see you. I'm trying to find a way. SimCity seems to be a fairly common song that I used to sing. Right. This is my other one, my other drive. Is it in here? Yes. Tax, that's what it's gonna be. Surely.
It's not the things that you gather round. It's not how much you own.
Twilight Drunkle?
The things that hold the meaning in
Ah,
your
okay.
life are the
Here they are.
memories you've sown.
Found 'em. So what are these ones just out here? I have no idea. Why are they out here and not in the Applejack folder? It's another case of, oh god, what the fuck did I do? Were these ones where I made slight edits to them? Probably. Okay, I'm just gonna choose to not worry about it. Can I copy and paste between File Explorer and One Commander? I hope so. Okay, I need to go to Characters here. And then Applejack. Hello, Victor Lemaire. Okay, let's just hit Control V and see what happens. Yep, moving stuff. Here we go. More Applejack pictures. So, I am now combining the pictures that I used for Twilight Drunkle and the tax breaks, that is, pictures obtained from the Burus and from DeviantArt, with all of the pictures that I got from the show assets leaks. So I now have 4,238 pictures of Applejack. And now I gotta do that for all the other ponies that I happen to have existing assets for. Okay. Right. So, who's up next?
I know you were worried for a second there,
Up
weren't you?
next is Celestia.
It's all gonna work out just fine, Mr. President. We'll build a playground for all of us.
I don't seem to have...
Games there's enough for
Did I not make a proper Celestia folder?
to help and do everything.
Celestia was very infrequent, so maybe... Oh no, I've just called it Tier instead, and put it somewhere else.
That's right. Keep
And I have ones where she's not wearing her regalia.
amazing strength.
Okay.
You help them move that merry-go-round across the line? Thank you so much.
Right, let's copy that to the clipboard. And Celestia.
Got it.
Merge.
There's so much I can do
Good.
to help every pony else. I see the light that shines in me.
Okay.
And know I can
I have a few for Derpy as well.
myself. I can free the past, 'cause now the future's bright for me. My cutie mark has set me free to do what's
Let's
right
bring them in.
and be the pony I wanna be.
Right, next up is Fluttershy.
And be the pony I wanna be.
Ah. Okay, so it seems like I've not actually... Right. So the way that this download everything from Burus and such works is that we just grab every tag that has transparent background, Fluttershy, and vector, and we just download all that. It makes no consideration for, well, anything else really. I mean, something like this is probably not ever going to be useful in any of the sort of stuff that I make. So I'm wondering now, is it worth it for me to go through all of these and get rid of anything that's obviously not going to be useful? I think so, actually, because this episode does actually have Fluttershy do stuff. She sat on an... Actually, no, she didn't even sit on a bar stool in Twilight Drunkle. She was just passed out on the floor, and you could just see her two hind legs poking in from the side of the screen. And then in the tax break, she had that one opening scene with Rainbow Dash where she was half occluded behind the door. But no, this time she's going to be front and center, and she's going to receive a hug from Pinkie Pie and everything. So yes, I am going to need proper Fluttershy assets. So hey, another big old sorting thing that I'm sure you're all gunning to watch me do. So what's the sorting criteria? Basically anything that I think is useful stays, and anything that I don't think is useful goes. It's that simple. Stuff that goes is usually going to be ponies in costumes, ponies with props, ponies with non-standard poses or hairdos, and anything else that just obviously... It's funny, yes, but there's no way this is going to be useful. Okay. So I'm just going to be going through this, getting rid of stuff that I don't want. I'm going to try and be fairly permissive, but you never quite know when you might need something. But some things you just know. In 5 years' time, I might need... In 5 years' time, I might need one picture of Fluttershy in a Daring Do outfit. If I really do need that one exact image, I can go and find it on the Buru. This little horsey saw it all. The annoying thing about these Derpy Buru, or DeviantArt ones as well, a lot of the times the colours are all slightly off. Like they use some different export settings or something, I guess. You don't get that, obviously, with the stuff directly rendered from the show assets. But it does mean I have to sometimes do a bit of colour correction. There's just so many tiny nuances to this, you know. So many things you don't think about when you're starting out that you have to end up accounting for.
Raise this barn, raise this barn.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Together we can raise this barn.
1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, I wonder if chat can count to 4.
Hammer those joints, work in teams. Turn
Are you as smart as Applejack?
grab a new partner, here we go.
As much as I like socks, probably not. If I really need to, I can edit the ponies to make them wear socks.
1, 2, 3, 4. Together we can raise this barn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up, 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 go the beam. Hammer those joints, work in teams. Turn them around quick by the right elbow. Grab a new partner, here we go. Raise this barn, raise this barn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Together we can raise this barn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Finish the frame, recycling wood. Working hard, you're doing good. Turn them around quick by the right elbow. Grab your partner, here we go. Raise this barn, raise this barn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Together we can raise this barn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slats of wood come off the ground.
Hold 'em up and nail 'em down.
Turn around quick by
The left elbow, grab a new partner, here we go. Chat can't seem to get past 1. Very disappointing.
3, 4. Together we can raise this barn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up, 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 go the beam. Hammer those joints, work in teams. Turn them around quick by the right elbow. Grab a new partner, here we go. Raise this barn, raise this barn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Together we can raise this barn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Finish the frame, recycling wood. Working hard, you're doing good. Turn them around quick by the right elbow. Grab your partner, here we go. Look at us, we're famous.
Is there a situation in which I would... Actually, no. I can get rid of that safely, because I know I have from the studio assets. Not only do I have pictures of the ponies, I also have individual breakdowns of every single scene. So if I come across a scene that I really like, I can render every individual component of that. So I can get props as well on their own. Also in vectors. So I can have them in whatever resolution I want. That's the real big benefit that comes from using the show assets. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes Windows Explorer just jumps up to the top of the folder for no reason. Do our best for the glory of the mares. That's the idea.
I think you could do worse than listen to me. Though you're spectacular, it's probable your friends would agree. Your self-aggrandizing demeanor is ungracious and cruel, as if you're insecure and compensating. Don't be a fool. You know you'll never be a wonderful until you admit you need to live your game and act as if you really want it. Still busy napping when you could be out perfecting your art. So much potential, come on, Rainbow Dash, you're breaking my heart. Rainbow Dash, fly. Rainbow Dash, fly, fly.
I too welcome the pony AI overlords, and am actively working to bring them as close as I can. You're a brony, are you? Never would have guessed. It's officially Christmas. Oh, fucking hell. My policy is always to never acknowledge Christmas before December. But every year I try and push that later and later, because by the time it becomes Christmas time, you're sick to death of it. No doubt from tomorrow they're going to start playing all the Christmas songs on the radio. It's going to annoy the shit out of me. Christmas is December 25th. Amen. Come on. Stupid thing that's jumped to the top again. How do you do that? It's so annoying. I'll keep the Flutterbat ones, even though I have no immediate use for them. I'm really aiming to get rid of the stuff that really is 100% useless. I can subdivide things later if I need to, and I probably will. Like, I'll need to filter out all the ones where Fluttershy's wearing a dress, that sort of stuff. I mean, it's nice to have these pictures of ponies in other costumes, but the thing is, for the kind of stuff that I do, there's usually only one picture of that pony in that costume. and you need multiple poses in order to make something like that work. So either I need something that already has lots of poses with that particular outfit on, or it needs to be something that's very easy to edit. And usually neither of those two things are true. They played Christmas songs right after Halloween ended. I've been lucky enough to avoid it recently. See, I work as a chemist, and in the labs they have a radio. But I've not actually been in the labs for like the past 2 or 3 weeks. I've been chained to my desk doing shitty intellectual property work, basically rewriting everything I've done over the past 2 months in legal format, because it's something that's that they're gonna want to protect by IP. IP being intellectual property. Can't give any further details than that, because, well, it's proprietary. But basically, point is, I've been shielded from the radio for the past few weeks. So maybe your experience is different to mine. You're from Texas, are you? Okay. Well, it's the fact that you put the word brony in your handle that kind of gives it away. In case you somehow hadn't noticed. Again, not that it matters. Write whatever you want, mate. It's fine. Apparently it's the third guy from Texas who's joined this stream. Apparently we're popular in the Lone Star State. Oh, bugger. You love My Little Pony Friendship is Magic? No way, me too. So much so, in fact, that I'm making my own, well, quote-unquote episode of it. And have made an episode already, Tax Breaks. And I'm doing basically the same thing again, but with a new story. But first, I need to get myself organized, and that's what this stream is for. Hopefully by the next stream, or the following one at the very latest, I'll be in a position where I can actually start opening the video editing software and doing some actual editing. But, you know, gotta build the foundation before I build the house. And any time I spend here will hopefully, well, hopefully it will pay dividends later down the line. Even if it takes a while to get there. But, you know. This is the kind of sorting that only needs to be done once. There's a lot of shit in this file.
Pinkie! The perfect pony to see in a peckish pinch. I'd love to stay and chat, but I'm sure you have more deliveries. You must be... Whoa! My goodness! What in heavens is that garish, dysfunctional excuse for a vehicle? Oh, this This is just a little thing called the Pinkie Pie.
What song is this?
Glad you like it.
I'm assuming you're referring to the
glad you're doing better than running
previous
your
song
deliveries
that
on Hook
just
these days.
played. Can't remember the exact title off the top of my head. Trixie something or other. It is Trixie's Good Side by Pinkie Pie, I swear. Type that into the YouTube search bar, it should come up.
Out of breath, running sweat, too much to do, food's feeling wet, thinking to my hooves. So I said, there's gotta be a better way for the poner pink to get from place to place. What I find in the paper by the pony stars, but an ad from a dealer in your scrubbed cars. So I took a little trip down Aquarius 9, looking for her with among the various rides. The mermaid had a counter, glasses crazy fro. Then I knew I found her, so my commute woes. Said I need a whip to light my load. Seen in her head, that's a curse she would know when she said, girl, give me some RC control.
You're welcome.
Suspension zero when the music high. Cruising through town with the rear wheel drive. Better watch out for the Pinkie Pie. Bringing it down with the Pinkie Pie. Quick contraction and rules that flow. Spinning action, cause you know I'm rolling in my 6-4. With that floral print and the motor's fur. Pinkie Pie knew this was the car for her. Wildly screaming like my AA battery. Smoothly feeling like some pancake battery. Body started up in hard decals. Perfect for me and for all my pals. Cause Pinkie's brandy culinary love. With a vehicle that's real gold. Not some ordinary stuff. I do donuts. Yeah, I go nuts. I deliver nuts.
Don't need
and
3 of
also
this.
donuts. No suspension. My intention is to get it in 10 seconds flat. Call me Rainbow Dash, yeah, cause I go fast. But you know that I don't guzzle gas. Get ready, cause for your thought, the food is here. It's the piping hot. Suspension zero and the music high. Cruising through town with the rear wheel drive. Better watch out for the Pinkie Pie. Bringing it down with the Pinkie Pie. Quick contraction and rules that flow. Spinning action, cause you know I'm rolling in my 6-4. Receiving the love on the hard antenna. I see from above, and you know there's no better. Step out the way if you see me rolling. Deliveries to make, but I'm not trying to go bowling. Football please before you cross the street. To be safe, cause my ride, it spins at speed. Like a giant Disney cup of tea. Not my rim, but that would be neat. Like my batteries, I'm driving with the top off. I'm past capacity, I'm saying you cannot stop. Just like my brand, my ride is supercharged. Like the last stand, Pinkie eyes at large. My chariot is carrying.
You like Sunset Shimmer?
It just doesn't matter. For
Okay.
the party planner, it's a Pinkie.
Pretty much the only salvageable Equestria Girls character, so her story's alright. Just about the only thing that can be said to be alright about Equestria Girls. Aside from the songs, they're alright. Though that's more because they were made by Daniel Ingram. And everything he makes is amazing. You saw that? Show us the pic. Go to Derpy Bureau, you can see as many boobies as you want. But, you know, I gotta keep it friendly for the kids. You know, the kids that I'm not making this video for. Not that YouTube gives a shit about that. Tax Breaks spent about a week being flagged as made for kids. That was very annoying. Was worried I wouldn't be able to see all the nice comments people were writing. But eventually that got resolved. I was quite surprised when it got resolved, actually, because based on other people's experiences, I wasn't really expecting anything to come of that. But it all worked out in the end, so that was nice. You're a good brony. Who's a good brony? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Who's a good brony? I've just realised I'm playing a Christmas song. Fuck. Broken my own rules. Oh well, we're in too deep now. You didn't see that. Nothing happened. You didn't see that either. It's okay. So I've seen this outfit a few times, so I'm keeping pictures like that. If for some reason I ever need Fluttershy in Wonderbolt Officer's outfit, that's what she was wearing when they were teaching Rainbow Dash the history of the Wonderbolts, right? How have I been? I've been very busy. It's been, what, 5-6 months since I posted a proper video? Very busy at work. Been busy moving house. 15AI has been down forever, which just kind of kills the motivation, to be honest. I mean, why bother making something that involves 15AI if 15AI isn't available? But, like I already said, that's not a valid excuse anymore in my eyes. I can still do the quote-unquote animation, and then add the voices to it later. We've all got lewd pictures on our computer. Yeah. But YouTube doesn't like me showing off that collection. And of course, this video is eventually going to go on YouTube. And they tend to be a bit iffy about that sort of thing. So I've got to make sure I don't have any accidental titties in there. Not that there should be any, because I'm not putting any fucking Anthro garbage into my video. But, you know, just gotta make sure that they're not there in the first place. That way, there's nothing to worry about. Though I'd like to think it would be very difficult to accidentally put a picture in there. I mean, this is just a byproduct of grabbing everything off of the Burus and DeviantArt. You grab everything, and as a result, you have, well, everything, you know? See, I'd rather have too much stuff and then sort through it than have stuff that gets missed. You made a salute on ML. I think I could do a salute here. Here you go, salute. You should come to the side tube. Right here. Pinned comment at the top there. We have better emotes. Does an AI sort through an asset? How'd I download all of this? So, I got a friend who knows how to write automated scripts do it for me. And what the script did was ask Derpy Buru for everything that has the tag Fluttershy, vector, transparent background, and probably a couple other little things that I can't quite remember. In hindsight, I should have told it to filter out Equestria Girls and similar. Would have removed a few of these. But hey. You downloaded the entire internet, very easy. It can sometimes feel like you're downloading the entire internet when you've got all of these things going through your computer, man. There's lots of big files that go into animation. Becoming popular, best rarity song. I'll be the toast of the town, the girl on the go. I'm the type of pony every pony should know. I'll be the one to watch the girl in the flow. I'm the type of pony every pony should know. Becoming as popular can be. Making my mark in high society. I'm the belle of the ball, the star of the show. Yeah, I'm the type of pony every pony should know. Every word that I speak, my approving glance is what they all seek. I'm the creme de la creme, not just another Jane Doe. I'm the type of pony every pony should know. At home, at the opera, on a fancy yacht, becoming the talk the talk of all of Canterlot. I'm the creme de la creme, not just another Jane Doe. Yeah, I'm the type of pony every pony should know. Because I'm the type of pony. Yes, I'm the type of pony. Yes, I'm the type of pony every pony should know. What's my thoughts about G5? Meh. Honestly, just meh. That's my entire thought about G5. I watched the movie. It was okay. That's the highest praise I can possibly give it. I've not really watched anything else about it. I've not seen or heard good things. My love is of these ponies, not G5. That's all I really have to say. Encore? Maybe if another song happens to come up in the playlist that I like. The playlist is random, so I have no idea what's coming next. Well, okay, I have some idea. I made the playlist, and they're all, shall we say, relevant songs, but I don't know which of those relevant songs will come next. There's no time for one last clap. I can't remember if I cried when I... You love Sunset Shimmer because her hair is red and yellow. Just like bacon, right? Well, that's as good a reason as any, I guess. Damn, that's some dedication right there. Opened up your ribcage to get a tattoo on your heart. We've all opened our hearts to the ponies, haven't we? If you told me 10 years ago that I'd be doing what I'm doing right now. Actually, is 10 years ago even long enough? 10 years ago is 2012, right when the show was getting going. So fuck, I might have to say if you told me 15 years ago I'd be watching it. My god, it's been so long, hasn't it? Alright, we're about 2/3 of the way through this folder. Twilight is very cute. She likes Spike. Spike's a weird character. Or the way that the ponies treat him sometimes. Especially early Twilight. Based pretty much only on season 1 opener. You'd think Twilight doesn't actually care that much for Spike. But luckily he matured throughout the show and became a true Chad. What the hell is this song? It's autism. It's about as much explanation as it needs.
argued which pony was tops the day helter-skelter in the hate swelter. /MLP was a fallout shelter. 10 pages deep and falling fast.
Fluttershy loves animals because she is an animal lover.
Finally, the time did pass.
I mean, you're not wrong, but it's a pretty circular argument right there. Fluttershy loves animals because she loves animals, eh?
And season 3 it was filled with gloom, while YouTube spewed some oddest gloom. But
I'm starting to go shy blind right now. I've seen so many pictures of Fluttershy right now. Actually, no, I can keep that one of Fluttershy reading the magazine. That might be useful.
to be stopped by some clopper hordes. Oh, the butts were sore the day.
How did you download all this at once? I personally didn't. I had a friend who knows how to write scripts do it for me. So he did some coding magic to make Derpy Buru give us all of this stuff. I wouldn't be able to teach you how to do it because I know sod all about coding. But once I'm done sorting through this, I can direct you to the folders if you want them. They should still be up on the Google Drive. I just need to go find the link again.
Come on, Jack T. Herbert, Jack, be quick. Jack sat down on Rayburn's dick because /MLP is your only friend. And as I watched the posts upon the page, my
How do I brainstorm the ideas for the videos? I go to FimFiction or PwnPost, and I read a bunch of stories. And if I find one that I think, huh, I like that, maybe I'll turn it into an episode, I'll, well, do that. If you look at all of the videos I've made, most of them are inspired by or based on something else. I'm not very good at coming up with ideas. I feel like I'm okay at writing on the rare occasion that I do get an idea of my own, but it doesn't happen very often. So yeah, if you look in the video description of the video you're watching right now, you'll see a link to the story that I'm going to be basing this little episode off of. I explained briefly at the start of the stream what I was animating, or thinking of making, though with a bunch of newcomers in the stream right now, maybe I should explain again. So, the premise of this story is that Pinkie is in Sugar Cube Corner, or rather sat outside Sugar Cube Corner having breakfast one morning, and she's reading the newspaper. She comes across a very alarming news article. It says, "Price of hugs set to soar," as the headline. Which means the price of hugs is going up, from nothing to, well, something. And this is, of course, very concerning to Pinkie. Is she going to have to decide who gets hugs now? How much are the hugs going to cost? And who is actually putting in this horrible policy of forcing ponies to pay for hugs? So she sets out on a mission. One, to find out who is making up this horrible policy of paying for hugs, and two, to give every pony in Ponyville a final free hug before midnight. That's the basic premise. Like I say, you can look in the video description, read the full story if you want, or you can sit in all of these streams with me and watch the story slowly unfold as I go through it. And by slowly, I mean very fucking slowly, because holy shit, making these videos takes a long old time. Tax breaks, for reference, that took about 200 to 300 hours to make. This will probably be similar. Which thread on /MLP do I frequent? Pony Preservation Project, that's my main one. That's where I've been most of the time, doing the Pony AI stuff. What else do I frequent? I frequent the merch thread, to look at cool new merchandise. Maybe there's something that I don't have yet that I want to buy. Or I just look at cool pictures of people posting their life-size plushies that I'll never be able to afford, but I can look at in envy. There's Tempo and Bale, both are art focused, so I can watch people as they, 1, learn how to make art, and 2, see their works in progress and give hints and tips. And for the most part, I just float around anything that looks interesting. So we've got the mass-produced Pony Plushies project going on right now, making plushies of various characters associated with /MLP. Right now, next up is Twiggy. And we also have the /MLP silver coin thread going on right now. So if you want an actual silver coin, like a coin made of actual silver, that is horrendously over-designed, but still rather endearing, designed by committee by /MLP, you have 2 days left before orders on that close. Hug inflation. Wait, that sounded wrong. It's only as wrong as you make it, mate. And remember, whatever wrongness came into your brain was the product of your imagination. And that says more about you than anyone else needs to. Basically what I'm saying is, you did this to yourself. You have only 3 hours, fuck. Well, actually no, I'm not worried, I've already ordered 2, but there you go. For convenience, I'll put that in the thread for you. On the off chance anyone wants to do that. You're getting a soft sunset shimmer for Christmas? Okay. I will warn you, if this is your first plushie, it most certainly will not be your last. You can never have just one plushie. You will just accumulate more and more and more. They will infiltrate your house and take over. You have been warned. On my desk with me right now, I have a load of plushies. I mean, just over a year ago, I had 2. And now I have 10, soon to be 11. There is no end. I'm awesome. Thank you. Very nice. Nice of you to say. I'm definitely going to have to do a second pass at sourcing this, because I do, for the most part, want to keep the ones of Fluttershy in different outfits, just in case, but like I mentioned earlier, for ones like that, you're going to have to either get lucky, like something like this. This is Fluttershy's gala dress. There should be plenty of pictures like this of Fluttershy, if you wanted to do that. So something like that should be workable. But something like this? That's going to be harder. I mean, there are some very obscure clothing items here, or just some outfits that were designed by fans and only one such picture of them exists, that sort of thing. If nothing else, they can serve as a good little bit of inspiration if I have a need to give a pony an outfit. But, trying to add outfits to ponies is actually difficult. Because when you're doing it if you're doing it as an animator with the original show assets, you can deconstruct the ponies. Like, you can take the mane off, you can take the ear off, you can take the eyes off, you can rearrange the legs however you want, and that means it's very easy to do layering. But if I wanted to give this Fluttershy a dress, I would pretty much have to draw it manually in one layer. And, well, you can see how that can get very tiresome very quickly if I have to do that more than just a couple times. What's my favorite drink? Bit of a random question, but okay. Like a lot of things, I find it hard to pick just one as a favorite. I mean, on my desk with me right now, I have a lot of things on my desk, but one of these items on my desk is a nice big decanter glass of whiskey. I quite like whiskeys. I like cider. I like pretty much any fizzy drink you can imagine. So sodas and all of that. I'm still a child, basically, so anything that's horrendously sweet will probably sit perfectly fine by me. Hello, BGM. Nice to see you here. I said, what is your favorite drink? You're pushing me hard for an answer, aren't you? I already kind of answered it. Like, again, I can't pick just one. There's too many drinks out there, man. Too many different kinds of drinks that I really like. Oh no! Hide your eyes. Close your eyes. You didn't see any of that. Especially not you, YouTube. Nothing happened. Alright, we're nearly there. Alright. And that's the end. Okay. So I've done now an initial pass of removing all of the Fluttershy pictures that unambiguously, and by I mean really unambiguously, will not be useful. He says as he realizes a whole bunch that he's just missed. Though, maybe I can keep the ones with the gothic hairdo. Why not? I mean, just like you saw earlier, there's inevitably going to be a few that I missed. Technology prevails. Yes. In case you didn't know, this song is written entirely by an AI, composed by an AI. Everything is AI, basically. Made by BGM. Go check out his channel. Alright, I'm just going to give this one more quick look over. See if I've missed anything else super obvious. And then I think I'll subdivide the ones of Fluttershy in a different outfit. And then I'll call that good enough. And then I'll go do something else.
There's so much to do and so much to see, so much to explore and so much to be. A growing human mind wants to be free. A growing pony mind wants to be me. Here's to a new era, one that will always be.
Technology prevails. Do I have any favorite stories?
Animals don't listen, no, not one little bit. They run around out of control and throw their hits.
It's been a while since I read stories, actually. I need to cast my mind back. Again, I've been very fucking busy. So, the story that this is based on, Free Hugs, I'll recommend that. That's pretty good, for the most part. It does have a few rambly bits about economic theory that I'm gonna cut from the main script of this. But it's still a fun one. Good characterization of Pinkie, actually. It's one of the main reasons why I chose it to become animated. But if it's a recommendation you're looking... I'll recommend you one thing. Not necessarily... Well, maybe I'll recommend you two things. Both of a similar sort of genre. So this is one that I'm currently reading right now. Once I get the link ready, here we go. There you go. So that is a story, a green text story, that's currently ongoing on /MLP. And it's all about robo-waifus. And it's quite a long one. I haven't read the full thing so far, but I'm quite liking what I've got. It's also kind of like a sci-fi story. And I like sci-fi. So that's my recommendation of the day. And I don't think I'll say too much more than that, because, you know, spoilers. I do great animations. Calling what I do animation is a bit generous, but let's say I think I do a good job with the tools I have. Because I don't call myself an animator, and no one who actually does animation seriously would call me one either, and that's fine. Technically what I do is animation, though, like I say, calling it animation is generous. But it is a nice style, I think. And it's something that anyone could do. Hint, hint. In case you hadn't noticed, a lot of what I like to do is to show people what you can do. Because I'm not an artist, alright? I'm a scientist. I am not an artistic person. And yet, I can still do these sorts of things. You don't need to be an animation genius or a video editing genius. You can do a good job. You're great? Okay. Well, how about you put that greatness to some good use and make a nice pony video? I'm sure we'd all love to see it. And I'm sure it'll be just as great as you are. Right. This song takes me back. Shame they got cancelled. Okay, I think I'm fairly happy now with this sorting. Like, I've gotten rid of all of the objective total trash and garbage. What song is this? BGM, I am disappointed in you. How do you not know what this is? Oh shit. Okay, it's the Rainbow Dash theme from Fighting is Magic. Do I have a favourite song? That's kind of like the favourite drink question again. I have a lot of songs that I like, and I can't really pick a favourite one. Loads of great pony songs, so if you want some good songs, go to BGM's channel. And also Vul's channel, VUL, Vul, all lowercase. Both make great AI-based songs. So yeah, I'm gonna say my favourite songs are ones sung by the ponies. Both actual ponies and AI ponies. I don't mind you asking questions, mate. How did I get into voice boxes and AI? To answer that question, I have to go back. How long's it been now? 3.5, 4 years? When the Pony Preservation Project started. I came across the thread one day, people were saying, or one anon posted saying, hey, AI voices exist and they're trained off of voices. We have pony voices. Why don't we train pony voices with AI? And since I'm not an artist, like I mentioned already, I've not drawn ponies, I've not made music or anything like that. Never really felt like it was my area of expertise, but turning the show into individual lines and creating datasets, that's something I could do. And at that point, I've been on the ride since 2013, 2014. I've been on the ride for several years at that point, and I figured, hey, it's about time I made some kind of meaningful contribution. So I went and did a few episodes, and then things rapidly spiraled out of control from there, and before you know it, I've made an entire dataset for the entire show, pretty much. And then the AI becomes way better than I ever thought it would be, and I go, well, someone's got to put this to good use. And so, over the course of many audio-only things, many of which aren't actually on YouTube, actually, I slowly learned, pretty much entirely self-taught, how to make good use of audio, and then the show ended and I was sad, and I didn't want the show to end, so I'm forcing the show to not end by making this. So a bit of a rambly answer, but got there in the end. If we were to ever make pony videos, there'll be nothing but reverse gender roles, Equestria, and kind Equestria stories. Well, dudes can make whatever they want. It's fine. I mean, kind Equestria is a bit meh, but I've been in the reverse gender roles thread a few times. They have some good writers in there. Most of it's recycled memes and all of that. Not particularly interesting, but you have the few gems that come across every now and then. Every thread has, well, almost every general has a few gems here and there. Right. Your favorite is Coca-Cola. Not a bad choice. Just don't drink too much of it, because that stuff is basically pure sugar. Right. What I'm gonna do now is create an alternate folder. Alt for Fluttershy. And then anything that is Fluttershy but in a different outfit is going to go in this folder. Do I have any difficulties with getting voices for certain scenarios? Well, right now I have a lot of difficulty because 15AI is down, so technically the answer is yes on all fronts right now. But to give a non-smart-ass answer, when the AI is asked to do stuff that's very expressive, as in shouting lots and lots of emotion to it, generally the more oomph or feeling you ask the AI to give, the more likely it is to mess up. So, yeah, as Gothic says, shouting AI voices are very difficult. And Twilight Drunkle was pretty much all shouting pony voices, specifically Twilight. So trying to get Twilight to sound drunk as well, that was difficult. I had to come up with a lot of weird inputs for that. I liken it to trying to smash a glass in a certain way. Because to get the AI to do the drunken slurring of Twilight, you're trying to make the AI do something that it isn't really designed for. It's designed to give clean, nice speech. But I'm asking it to give me drunken speech. So I'm having to break the AI a bit, but break it in just the right way. It's easy to break the AI, you just give it a garbage input, but usually that'll give you a garbage output. So you gotta break the AI in just the right way. That's why I liken it to smashing a glass. It's easy to throw a glass on the floor and smash it, but it's much more difficult to throw it on the glass, to smash it such that it breaks into like a certain number of pieces or something like that. So the simplest answer is anything that's got lots of high energy emotion to it, particularly shouting, and anything that the AI isn't really designed to do. There's one other project that I've had on ice for a very long time. And the main reason why it's been on ice for so long is because getting the AI to voice it properly is damn near impossible. And that project is, well, to give you a quick little bit of background, I like motorsport. I've liked it ever since I was a kid. I like cars that go vroom vroom. And one of those that I like is rallying. That is the one where you drive on dirt roads with someone sitting next to you, reading a piece of paper telling you which way to go and what turns are coming up. The pace driver, or the co-driver, as it's called. So what I've wanted to do is use a rallying video game, Dirt Rally 2.0 specifically, to record me just driving a rally stage, and then have one of the ponies, probably Twilight, read the pace notes. But the thing about pace notes is that they need to be said in a very specific way. Like a very specific rhythm, emphasis, they're all very important in order to make it sound good. And when you need the AI to do very specific pacing and very specific emphasis on certain words, it is quite difficult. So you do have Sortinon's controllable talk note, which is still up and running right now. And the way that works is you give it a recording, a reference recording, of you or someone else, whoever really, saying a line. And it will use the pitch and timing from that input in its output. Problem with that, though, is that it's generally lower quality. It's not as good as 15, and for some reason it just doesn't seem to like my voice very much. I've never really been able to get it to work very well. But when it works well, it generally works really quite well, and you can get it to do stuff that not even 15 can do. So whenever you hear the pony songs, either on this stream or on anyone else's channel, almost certainly not made by 15 AI. Would have been made by TalkNet. So if you have to design slurred speech, how do I set that constraint up? Do I ever have to go and edit sound clips for input? Okay, so the way you do it a lot of the time is with lots of weird punctuation marks at the end, lots of long hyphens, lots of long words. I'm going to assume you've watched the video. One of the lines is Twilight slurring "fuck Lyra." Like, fuck Lyra, but in a very elongated way. Fuck Lyra! That sort of thing. And that was done by just typing this sort of thing in the chat. So I'm going to just type an example, like something like that. And with very long inputs like that, it'll spend longer on the syllables. And since it doesn't really know what to do in those sorts of situations, it ends up sounding very garbled and, well, just not very coherent. Which in that particular situation, just so happened to be exactly what I wanted. So you do have to get quite creative with inputs sometimes if you want something super specific. Okay, so this song you're listening to right now, the Mares song, Mares and Snow Pity. This is TalkNet, this isn't 15. It's not the best example, actually, since most of it is just single lines. Or, actually, maybe I'm wrong about that. This one doesn't really need timing, so this one might actually be 15. I can't quite tell. The music makes it hard. Yes, all of my streams are archived. So if you look in my videos, you'll see the first video of every behind-the-scenes stream that I've done. And then in the description or in like a little card next to it in the top right corner, you should see a link to the playlist for all the streams. I keep the playlists unlisted because I don't want to just clog up the video portion of my channel. I assume that 99.9% of people who come to my channel want to watch the actual videos and aren't interested in watching streams of me doing, well, this, basically. Frankly, I'm astounded that even one person wants to watch this, but hey. You name it, there's someone somewhere who enjoys it, I guess. Sounds like 15 to you. Yeah, it doesn't have as much of that metallic-iness that TalkNet has. So I think you might be right. Might have jumped the gun a little bit on that. We're pretty much at the end of the song, actually. Let me skip through and see if I can find a good example. I'm gonna just go through my playlist and see if I've Ah, here we go. This is TalkNet. And something like this would be impossible to make with 15 AI.
I ain't gonna say the F word in this one. Don't do it, Remo. Think of the advertisers. What advertisers? Saturday night, 10, I bring like a motherfucker supposed to be spring. What a sweet thing. I'm a fly machine, or if you speak sheen, I am frying in heat like it's the fucking summer. Like a fucking onion sitting in the oil tank. Just a fire, is it just too dank? Is this room so hot cause of insulation? Can't afford food cause of inflation? Well, you owe me groceries for this recipe. Just bad words, gross things, and a little heat. Cause this fire's localized entirely in the place that it's got the right to be. Within this kitchen, I got an it, and I'm mixing a pitch cause I nix all the bitches. I got no contrition, I'm making my bits, and I spitting like sizzling oil. Cause this rap is getting boiled. I'm a motherfucking rap pone. Cooking home meals like it's back home. Bringing it back to when you get your ass home. Now follow the science so your bitch gets an echo. I'm not kidding, it's way too fucking hot in here. Can we get an AC going or something? How the fuck I gonna get a job? I don't wanna be a slob, but my resume just says that I go fast, so I own that. And I'm gonna just state that I'm on backs. Fired me from the Wonder Bulls cause I wouldn't get the jab. What a fucking drag, what a bunch of facts. Now I'm firing heat, I ain't gonna halt, so you better hold your pants. Try to keep it in, you're a no fat. Hold up. What the fuck are the neighbors doing? Why the fuck they screaming like a Super Bowl? It's not Rainbow, it is the Super Bowl. Oh, they still have those? Gonna be frank but not the filthy kind. Guess what you can thank for all these lines? It's too fucking hot for me to just recline. Too fucking loud, it's a sign of the times. Cause it's much more easy to write rap if I pretend that I'm only trying to write crap. Yeah, I got all these things that are making me mad. They got the time to make the beat fat. I'm beginning to feel like a rap phone. Now if you're scared, let's see your ass home. Last 2 years got your mess on. LGBTs are not your mascot. I think my muse is the one smoking crack. I say fuck and shit, that's some fucking shit. It's a fuck shit stack, yeah, fuck shit stack. I'm a one-trick hat or a fucking hat. Yeah, try to make it sound like it's smoking crack. Just wanted to make some funkin' music. Wanted to make up something music. It's hard enough just to work through it. Fuck the crap, right? The lunch, just do it. Develop the stack like an underpaid intern. Handle that pen and the heat will get your skin burned. Got it down pat, get that batter fluff up in these jacks with a jump filled aftermath. So this is the way that I'm gonna stay making pancakes. Cooking every day as I whistle away. Got that rifle lay. I am not okay and I don't have much to say. Yeah.
Ah, and right on cue, here's another good example. Actually, tell you what, take a very, very short break just so I can go and show you 2 YouTube channels.
You know strangers to love. You know the road, and so do I. A full commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other gal.
So,
Just wanna tell you how I'm
the Rainbow Dash rap that you just listened to comes from Bull, that's his YouTube channel. And then BGM also, who's in chat right now, go to him as well for more good songs and shit. Leela! Shout out to the pony herd. Let's see if he understands. Gotta say, I'm not 100% sure what you're referring to. I mean, I like pony herds, but I don't know which pony herd you're specifically referring to. So I guess you get to keep your little secret.
we know the game and we're gonna play it. If you ask me how I'm feeling, don't tell me you're too blind to see. Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you, never gonna make you cry, never gonna say goodbye, never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. you see the whole town going smoke up, and you only wish it was the kind of hot to make it quiver. But sunray's the only kind of shot that's being delivered. Every pony's out in the streets, doing everything they can to beat the heat. Humidity's at 30, but I feel like I'm drowning. Hot all over and my heart is pounding. Like a casserole in the oven. Like the sun woke up and sent it just to give you a lift. Make you out like this healthier chips. Take 'em rare and burn her up into a crisp. While the purple asshole sitting way up in her insulated castle, shining lights on its full with the magnifying glass. So I wish I could get a glass of water, but it's drier in this bitch than in Cookie Crumble's daughter. Trinkle disco ball is shining. A few decades past the early 90s. Kiss the princess, but you overstayed your welcome. I'm not a put, so could you please turn off your welcome? Could for us the temp is not an option. Got us burning more hot than the beat that I'm dropping. In the stories it was Icarus, it flew up close. Now the sun is moving up on us. So did you general call the heat wave? Make it trickle dust up in the streetway. And I bet that bitch didn't notice. That's just how it be on the summer solstice.
Alright, nearly there. For Fluttershy, at least. I don't know if there's going to be any other ponies I have to do this for. It's possible. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's only Fluttershy I have to do this for. Pretty sure. Everyone else should be just ready to go after I merge them.
Just my awesome mustache.
Far out, dude.
Mustache.
Far out, dude.
Mustache. Yeah, I'm a sweet talker.
Fluttershy is cute in your opinion. It's a pretty good opinion to have.
Awesome.
Mustache.
Far out, dude.
Mustache. Yeah, I'm a sweet talker.
You like my videos. Thank you. Nice to know. And hello to you, Leo. Come in just before work.
Pizza time.
Again, it's just jumped to the top for no reason.
Here's what I know. If you want to succeed, you must
Okay.
follow the trends.
Nearly there. You can feel it.
If you want to show that
You can also
you've
see
got
the
what
scroll
it takes,
bars.
we must
That's a
be
good
who they
indicator,
want
isn't it?
you to be. Here's what I know. Your food is so good. The flavor's so fancy and free. You just need to show that unique sense of taste. Go on, be yourself, let them see. It's gonna work. I know it's gonna work. It's gonna work out just fine, trust me. It's gonna work. I swear it's gonna work. It's gonna work out just fine, you'll see. You need to change if you want to compete, but fear not, for I know what to do. I know it feels strange, but trust me when we're done, we'll make sure that you're a hit too. Don't ever change, being different is good. Don't let what others do be your cue.
Okay, and that's the bottom of the folder.
Never
I'm gonna give it
rearrange
one
what's
last quick look over,
your heart, it will know what to
just to make sure I've not missed anything. Like this. G4 is cute. Cute mares. That's why we're all here.
We'll help you every step of the way, because we know what you need to do, and you should know it too. It's gonna work. I know it's gonna work. It's gonna work out just fine, trust me. It's gonna work. I swear it's gonna work. It's gonna work out just fine, you'll see. See a cold wind blowing through. I see days neither fun nor free. I see a future caused by you. I see a path not meant to be. The future should be filled with magic, dreams and wishes brought to life. But the days ahead are dark and tragic. No time for hope when all is strife. Whatever might have been, all the dreams that ponies share. Because of you, snowfall frost.
I'm doing an amazing job.
Is a cold night's
Alright. Nice to know I have someone who's so supportive of me. Doing your 24-hour stream. Yeah. Oh, so it's you, just you doing it for 24 hours. It's not like a 24-hour coat lab or something. I was going to say that's crazy, but then I remember I've done the exact same thing a few times in the past, having streams that go on for more than 24 hours, so I'm hardly one to judge. You're heading off, Apple? Alright. Well, I'll be back tomorrow, and most days after that, actually, so this need not be the only stream. See you later, mate. There's a load here I've missed somehow. How did I miss all of these?
Held Inspector got ready for vacation. But the pandemic wasn't over, and now it wasn't just COVID.
I got a lucid dream. Lucky man. I barely ever dream, and whenever I do, they're almost always disjointed and nonsensical, and I barely remember them at all.
The real question to ask is, how sure can we be that Twitter isn't causing all these fraud commissions and deaths? Some ponies demanded a good explanation. What could be the cause of all this information? So maybe it's too much stress. After you don't get sufficient rest, perhaps it's climate change. Yes, you know this weather's been so strange. Perhaps it's a Mary Jane or ponies playing too many video games. Possibly all that oil hate bacon that your faster joints been making. Oh, it's a mystery. No easy way to see.
Gothic restarting his streams. Alright. You don't have to worry about eating into mine, mate. You can stream for as long as you want. Right, now we're getting somewhere.
So what about the athletes? If they died years early, would have died in a helicopter crash or COVID if they were unmasked. Saving all the inconvenient thoughts. Shut up and take all your booster shots. Stop asking all these annoying questions. How long will it be till you get it? Oh, it's a mystery. No easy way to see the cause of curious heart disease. A bad case of myocarditis. Oh, it's a mystery. No easy way to see the cause of curious heart disease. A bad case of myocarditis. If I'm a diamond, then why do I feel so rough? I'm as strong as a stone, even that's not enough. There's something jagged in me, and I've made such mistakes. I thought that diamonds were hard, though I feel I could break. Would you believe?
Okay. What I should have now is a folder full of clean Fluttershys, and then an alternate folder with some alternate Fluttershys that maybe I'll use at some point. I don't require Fluttershy in a dress for any of the scenes upcoming, but it could happen at some point.
I've been told my whole life
You are forced to explain why you spend several thousand on pony plushies, and worst of all, the plush harem is not real, but the awkward feeling stayed the whole day. Okay. Can you remember who you were trying to defend your harem to? Right. So what I need to do now is move the Fluttershys over here. Here we go. It's moving 1,000 images, so this might take a moment. Oh, I like this one. This is a good one.
You know we're all gonna make it, boys. No one particularly checkers hustle, but it's a method to build your muscle. We're in it that will bear fruit is your own. The fate of your fortune
Right, Fluttershy done.
is yours alone. So with the breaker and turn up the games, cause we raising up, replacing a great buffet with calories and a crush. You ate, just stay hydrated. Core engageful motion, range, heart rate elevated.
It's a going hard day, whatever's out, you have got your cards play. Ain't an arcade where you're but when you go to Sarcade. And now you're in the barcade, so let me see your war face.
Big step forward, step back. Ricker's gonna bring the force, it's attack, cause he's ripping at it on the bench. Rack, French, hard test, man. Topher gonna bend the bar, spread it back, keeping up the tension on his own eccentric. Best score, best stat. Quads run all the spoils of war, heading out to wreck the records, will protect this. Rest for next practice, progressive overload, proper strike, check it out, personal best stat. Speed it now. Just in case we're not enough, I got the puppet all up to them at the drop of a pin. When you're shot, starting in and I fit by the opposition, not even started on fire. Fist with a secret fold, the Pegasus regular, get it or credit you all in with the effort. This is your goal and you jump, I'm not used to prolonged theoretical, never gonna be clear, I'll affect some. White coast sweat on my finish makeup. I could look as you, I'm a chicken red better make it clear in 2 seconds. Life at the killer, feel it did burn. Then in the mad virus is a factor. How I devotion, you never let fight when the metric influence in the plot's a letter.
That's all the stairs.
Yeah, this is Vol.
Here, look, cheering, no, I'm building mass like a Keurig, a Syric, and fairly empirically lyrical, turret, chimerical, and
Step forward, step back, it's called.
Persever hurts me, assertive Fluttershy, but too really the curse in me.
Big step forward, step back. Ricker's gonna bring the force, it's attack, cause he's ripping at it on the bench. Rack, French, hard test, man. Topher gonna bend the bar, spread it back, keeping up the tension on his own eccentric. Best score, best stat. Quads run all the spoils of war, heading out to wreck the records, will protect this. Rest for next practice, progressive overload, proper strike, check it out, personal best stat. Back in the cannon and having a blast and a dashing with the animal faster than rabbit or ambos of fashionable.
In the midst of the victory, hers to be first, the hypertrophy, no reps in reserve, and seen serving the work complete.
No matter what you do, set out to prove your full potential. Carry it through, realize it's all intentional. Show the best of you, the gear, the damn professional. Mare, you can choose to make it all special. We're good, we're flowing at the source now. You know that there's a just growing that pectoral. So let me see that horsepower. Big step forward, step back. Ricker's gonna bring the force, it's attack, cause he's repping at it on the bench. Rack, French, hard test, man. Topher gonna bend the bar, spread it back, keeping up the tension on his own eccentric. Best score, best stat. Quads run all the spoils of war, heading out to wreck the records, will protect this. Rest for next practice, progressive overload, proper strike, check it out, personal best stat. Big step forward, step back. Ricker's gonna bring the force, it's attack, cause he's repping at it on the bench. Rack, French, hard test, man. Topher gonna bend the bar, spread it back, keeping up the tension on his own eccentric. Best score, best stat. Quads run all the spoils of war, heading out to wreck the records, will protect this. Rest for next practice, progressive overload, proper strike, check it out, personal best stat.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs from Vol. Right, so what I'm doing right now is I'm just moving over the rest of the pictures that I have for other characters. Like I said, I'm pretty sure Fluttershy is the only one that I hadn't sorted prior, just because I hadn't really needed many Fluttershy pictures in many others. Right, all of this is in aid of having all of my character pictures in one place. What is Free Hugs? Free Hugs is the work in progress title of, well, the video that I'm making. It's also the name of the story that this little video is going to be based on. Look in the video description, you'll see a link to the story that I'm basing it on. That is Free Hugs. Just gonna double check my Celestia pictures. I remember there was something a bit weird going on. Had I already copied over all the Celestia pictures? Yes, it's telling me there's a whole bunch of duplicates. That means I probably have already done that. Okay. So that, I think, just leaves Twilight. Okay. So, with that, I do believe all of my characters have been transferred over. Everything's now all in one place. So, characters done. Probably. Backgrounds done. That leaves props. Now, I'm not 100% sure about props, because I know that I've got them, but I haven't gone through them really, so I don't really know what it is that I'm working with. I need to familiarise myself with it. I also need to remember where I put them in the first place. Probably here in props. Okay. Oh, okay. So these are all the vectors, not PNG images. That's okay. But in order to explain how this works, I need to get one of these backgrounds up. What would be a good example? Let's go into Ponyville. And let's pick, say, the schoolhouse, this one. Actually, no, that's a bad example. That's not actually one of the vectors from the show. One that's actually from the show. Here we go. I think. No, that's from DeviantArt. The ones that come from the show have the prefix F-MLP and so on. But I'm trying to find one that can be broken down. Okay, let's do this. So, what you're seeing here is a scaled down version of the actual asset. So like I say, these are all just low-res renderings that I use as icons for easy navigation in the file. Try and imagine that this is properly, rendered. But the point is, when you look at something in the show from the animation, it's not just one picture. This is made up of many layers of things. I mean, off to the side here, you can see that you've got little decorations that go to make the ground look rough. That's its own layer. This house will be its own asset. These trees probably will be its own asset. This house will be its own asset. The sky in the background will be its own asset. And what you can do when you have the actual original show animation assets is break it down into its individual assets. And each of those individual assets, I believe, are what we're referring to as the props, and is what we just saw over there, all the FLA files. So in order to make it easy to navigate for when I need a prop of, say, a tree or a chair, something like that, they should all have tags in there, but they'll all be the vector images, which are not easy to view. at least not in Windows. By default, they don't have thumbnails. You can get extensions to make vectors render thumbnails, but they're very slow. That's why I had all of these icons made. So what I think I need to do is ask my friend Synthbot, who works with the animation assets, to do a rendering of all of the props. And then I can do something similar to what I've done with the backgrounds here. I probably won't sort and organize the props, because they should all have a file name. Like you see at the top here, file name, Ponyville, street, and day color. It's got basically tags, you know. Hello, friendly nightmare Sheikah. Hello. So you can search for what you need. All of that is to say, I don't think there's much I can do with the props right now, other than when the stream ends, just go and ask my friend Synthbot to render those for me. Because again, he's the code wizard. I have no idea. So I'm gonna put props on hold for now. The question then becomes, what else do I do? What else is there to do? I've organized the backgrounds. I've transferred my characters. Everything's all in one place now. I could review the script. Yeah, and I can write down a plan for what I want to do. Okay, that's a good idea. So, here's what I'm going to do right now. Right now I'm going to take a 5-10 minute break because I've been at this for nearly 3 hours straight, and I need just to have a break, grab a drink, that sort of thing. And then when I come back for the remaining 1 hour or so that I have, I'm going to open up the script draft that I have here. That is what I plan for all the characters to say. We're going to go through it and see if there's anything that obviously needs sorting out, and I can make a little bullet point list of what I want the animation to be for the first scene, ready to go for tomorrow when I have to actually open up my video editing software and get to work properly. So, I will be back in 5 to 10 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Or do, if you want, whatever. Alright, see you in a bit.
Cheese fondue. Sugar bell. Sugar bell. Sugar bell. Sugar bell. Sugar bell. Sugar bell.
Every single day there's something new you can plan for. Every single day there's something wonderful to do. But nothing makes me happy like a day that I can say, today I planned a party and it's just for you.
How's it going today, Pinkie?
Great, thanks. Got any streamers today?
You betcha! Big party planned?
Don't you know it? Don't have much time to gather all the things I need if I'm really gonna make this party fly. For today's another day that all of Ponyville will say,
Here goes the super party pony, Pinkie Pie. She planned our first full shower where we played all sorts of games, having so much fun as we chose Pound and Pumpkin's names.
she planned my cute scenario, my dad made me, I won't lie. I demanded all the best, I suppose she passed the test. Sure it was pretty good, all thanks to Pinkie Pie. Thanks, I guess.
What color paints do you need?
I'm gonna need the full rainbow.
A paintbrush too?
Yes, if you please.
And what from me?
Your biggest banner. This party's gonna be the best.
I don't doubt it.
as time goes by, every pony has to go out on their own. Maybe someday I'll have to try something new that's just for me. A little something that could be just my own, and I won't feel so left behind. We used to say that we'd be always side by side. Maybe things are changing and this could mean goodbye. I always thought our friendship was all I'd ever need. We've always been crusading. What else is there for me? I guess as time goes by, every pony has to go out on their own. And maybe someday I'll have to try something new that's just for me. A little something that could be just my own, and I won't feel so left behind. Friendship used to make me so queasy, queasy, but you made it all so easy, easy. Now I don't have to say what I'm thinking. You already know without even blinking. You girls are the apple of my eye, the race that doesn't end in a tie. You are the funnel cake at my fair, the warm hug of a fuzzy bear. Best friends until the end of time. We'll have each other's backs and let our true selves shine. And that's because everything we need is all right here when we're with our team. I simply can't imagine there be a day where I wouldn't want to be walking your way. Whatever new problems there may be, maybe our friendship is always the door with the key. You are the jewels in my friendship crown, the sparks that make my world go round. We bring the best out, that's our goal. There's no telling how far we'll go. Best friends until the end of time. We'll have each other's backs and let our true selves shine. And that's because everything we need is all right here when we're with our team.
The rules of rarity, guaranteed quality, this I can assure. For each and every dress, I'm bound to give finesse with time, love, and couture. My favorite moment's when a pony sees it. That special gown that she just adores. That pony's now in style. My heart works so worthwhile. Oh yes, it makes my heart just soar.
Alright, I'm back. Alright. Let's get to it. So.
The rules of
I'm just need to go grab my script.
Dress here's unique. The panels all the same. Each colored window pane I fashion only makes me want to shriek. Oh, to create would give me elation.
Right, here's the script. So for now we're only going to go, I think, as far as the first scene. A horrible thing has happened. How horrible is horrible? Don't get me in suspense, man. So, from here to here is going to be the first scene. So we've got stage directions in grey and square brackets, and then we've got Pinkie saying, "Oh no, what's going to happen?" Like, so you know. So what I need to do is read through this, and with the help of anyone in chat who feels like helping, point out anything that isn't quite right, or add something in. I'm going to be reluctant, I think, to add things in. I'm going to prefer to cut than add, because these things can end up spiraling out of control. And what takes like 30 seconds to read out loud can easily be a minute or more in terms of video. Okay, you're playing around Stable Diffusion, doing sci-fi when you've got an inspiration for a Star Trek-like story, but with ponies. I very much doubt you're the first person to think about crossing Star Trek with ponies, so I'm not immediately seeing what's so horrible about it. Are you about to drop another bombshell on me? But you can't start working on that before doing your original script, and you're not going to start that before finishing the British Octavia that you only started. Oh dear. That's the horrible realization. Too many ideas, only so much time. Well, while it's fresh in your mind, write it down on a notepad, and then file it away for later. Come back when you do have the time. So, I'm just going to turn the music down a little bit, since I'm going to be talking a lot more here. So, setting the stage, Pinkie is sitting at a table outside Sugarcube Corner, eating breakfast with Gummy. She's reading a newspaper, the Ponyville Chronicle. She turns to a page with the headline, "Price of Hugs Set to Soar." And I can actually show you that. I already made the newspaper. That was one of the few things that I actually did in advance. Not lines, assets. Here we go. So, Pinkie is eating her breakfast, and she's reading a newspaper, and she turns to see this very worrying news article. Price of hugs set to soar. Imminent increase attributed to raw material shortage. The Black Sheep Company's sudden strike action affects the supply of sheep's wool in Equestria. So, the price of hugs is going to go up because of a raw material shortage caused by the Black Sheep Company's strike action affecting the supply of sheep's wool. That's what's going to be happening. So, and if you're Pinkie Pie, and you see a newspaper article like this, you're probably going to be quite worried. Because Pinkie's going to go, big gasp, like, what? Price of hugs set to soar? That doesn't make any sense. Hugs are free, Gummy. They don't cost money. So, Pinkie stares at the headline a little bit more, and she reads the next line, imminent increase attributed to raw material shortage. And then she's basically just reading the newspaper at this point. The Black Sheep Company's sudden strike action affects the supply of sheep's wool in Equestria. Well, that doesn't make any sense either. Pinkie's got all the raw materials to build a super quality happy hug right here. She has 2 comfy cuddly legs, 1 fuzzy nuzzly muzzle, and a super soft snuggly tummy. And I can't see any of that just running out. So what I'm thinking here is that, having read that out, Pinkie then turns to Gummy for a little emotional support, who does the little lopsided blink he always does. And then Pinkie's going to grab Gummy and give him a hug. And Gummy will blink right back. Pinkie says, "Ah, thanks, Gummy. I love you too. And you're right. I've still got all my ingredients left over. I can whip up as many hugs as I want. But price of hugs set to soar." Well, no pony's coming to demand payment. That is payment for the hug that Pinkie just gave to Gummy. So that must mean that whatever hug payment program the paper was predicting is still pre-production and not yet presently prescribed. But it will be. It's a daily newspaper. So, if the newspaper is reporting today, that must mean that whatever new paper hug policy it portended must pioneer tomorrow. And now is the moment for Pinkie to get serious. Maybe Pinkie's going to jump up on the table or strike a dramatic pose. There's only one thing for it. I have to find all my friends today and give them a final free hug before midnight. That's Pinkie's big declaration. And then Pinkie's going to run off. And then we're just going to pan over a little bit to the door of Sugar Cube Corner, where we have Mr. and Mrs. Cake standing. Now, who says this next line is going to depend on just who I can get voices for. Honey, she does know she's supposed to be working today, right? And then we do the theme song. So that's our little opening there. So we've established that the price of hugs is set to soar. Pinkie is confused, but she's determined to make sure that all the ponies get a free hug before the price goes up. Pinkie could single-hoofedly plummet hug prices to 0. Ah! You're already one step ahead. Because Pinkie's going to use the power of economic theory to hopefully fix this problem. Now, I think this opening scene is already pretty good. I don't think it really needs that much extra. Because again, it doesn't look like much. I mean, like I say, it takes you barely 30 seconds to read through it. But when you factor in the pacing of the lines, the fact that you need to pause to let Pinkie hug Gummy and all of that, it's probably going to be at least a minute. And that's, I think, a reasonable amount of time for an opening. In fact, many openings to the show are actually even shorter than that. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty okay about this. So, we then move on to the next scene. We're now outside Fluttershy's cottage. Fluttershy is flying about. Oh yeah, this is going to be me spoiling the entire story, just so you're aware. I mean, I assume the fact that you're watching the stream means you're okay with spoilers, but I figure I may as well. Just let you know so you can't get angry at me later. So we're outside Fluttershy's cottage now. Fluttershy is flying about. She's feeding her animals with a sack of food. Suddenly, just from off screen, Pinkie yells, "Fluttershy!" which causes Fluttershy to be startled and drop the food, which spills everywhere. And the animals all pile in and gorge themselves on the giant sack of animal feed she just dropped. Oh dear, well, more for everyone, I guess. Fluttershy then lands down and Pinkie rushes in to greet her. Fluttershy says, "Good morning, Pinkie. I'm afraid you startled me a little. I didn't think any pony would be around this early." Now, Pinkie is quite agitated at this point. She's just read some very disturbing news, so she needs to get everything going as quickly as possible. Fluttershy, there's no time to explain. We only have until midnight before hugs start costing bits, so I have to track down all my friends and give them one last free hug before that happens. Huh, what do you know? There was time to explain. And then Fluttershy, so, you're going to... Fluttershy, I am going to hug you now. Oh, okay then. And Pinkie goes, yay, because she gets to give someone a hug, and she rears up ready to lunge into a big hug. And Fluttershy, she's not really about that. She likes, well, not being jumped at. So she flinches. Pinkie notices this, does a little pause, and then gets back down and slowly approaches Fluttershy, and then gives her a gentle hug. Now this is one of the first questions I have. Can I animate nuzzles? I would very much like to, I just don't know how difficult that's going to be. I do have individual head pieces for the ponies, like from the animation assets. So you remember I was talking about how the scenes, the backgrounds, they all break down into individual props. Well, the ponies break down into individual pieces, so individual heads, legs, manes, tails, eyelashes, and even. So I can theoretically get a pony head and stick that on top of a character, and then have that do like a little nuzzly motion, but I don't know how difficult that's going to be to do. I have no idea. But that's something I would like to do, and something I'll almost certainly at least attempt. And then one of the little gimmicks? I don't know if you'd call it a gimmick, but in this version of the story of Ponyville, hugs can talk. So a hug will tell you something. I'm so happy we're friends, and I'm so lucky to have you. These are things that aren't said out loud, they're said in, like, echoey thought voice. That sort of thing. Oh, no, no, no. That's a Christmas song, it's not Christmas. Actually, I should probably just turn the music off. I'm going to turn the music off for now. Because I'm actually talking. And, yeah, I don't want to get it in the way. Don't want it to get in the way. Are the Flim Flam brothers behind this plot? I'm going to decline to answer right now. I can maintain at least some area of mystique before I spoil the entire story for you. So, hugs don't quite talk, but they say things, you know. A nice hug says, I'm so happy we're friends, and I'm so lucky to have you. Fluttershy very much enjoyed the hug, saying that it was wonderful. And then Pinkie, still confused, like, I know, right? How could any pony want to charge another pony for that? So, Fluttershy, here's where we get to do a bit more exposition. You mentioned that before. I'm not really sure I understood what you meant by a free hug before midnight. That is what you said, isn't it? And then Pinkie, again, explaining the plot. Because after midnight, hugs are going to cost a lot more money. There's some kind of raw material shortage, so the cost of making them is going to shoot up from nothing to something. And I've got to get all my best hugs in with my friends before the deadline. There's no time to lose. And so Pinkie turns around and starts pronking. For anyone who doesn't know, pronking is the little bouncy thing that Pinkie does instead of walking. Did you miss something? Not really, I'm just talking through the script right now. Just trying to see if there's anything obvious that I've missed. Or if anything needs changing. Because it's a bit late for me to start doing something serious right now, like opening the video editing software. That's going to be tomorrow. So, Fluttershy asks, should she come too? And then I think, just as a fun Pinkie thing to do, she can stop in the air mid-bounce, as in just hovering off the floor, and say the next line, sure thing, come on Fluttershy, it's already mid-morning, and I've got a lot of friends to hug. And so we go to the next scene. So in this scene, Pinkie has ticked Fluttershy off the list, and now also has a little helper. And I think this one's going to be a little bit longer than the opening scene, I think. Not that much longer, but a little longer. I'm trying to keep a general running tally of how long I think each little segment's going to be. And I think at this point we're somewhere around the 3-minute mark. It would be nice if I can make the video be exactly 22 minutes and 4 seconds long, to be just like an episode, but I'm not going to put too much effort into making that happen. It will be as long as or as short as it needs to be, but I don't want it to be overly long or indeed overly short. That's kind of the purpose of this little review here. I wrote this script quite a little while ago and then have just, because this has been sat on for a while, it's helpful to just go through it, especially with some people here in chat who can point out anything that I may or may not have missed. So, we are now transitioning. We're going to Sweet Apple Acres. we're outside the barn, or outside in the fields. Doesn't have to be outside the barn. That's just what I wrote. So AJ, I say, is working on a cart with a hammer. Again, doesn't have to be a cart. She's just doing some farm work. And then out of nowhere, Pinkie zooms into the scene, stopping dead right next to Applejack. And Fluttershy just trots up behind her. And Pinkie's yelling, "Hi, Applejack!" So just Applejack's out in the field working, then all of a sudden, whoosh, Pinkie, "Hi, Applejack!" That sort of thing. It's a very Pinkie thing to do. Applejack's initially stunned by this, but she takes it in stride. And she also takes a step away from Pinkie. "So, howdy, Pinkie, Fluttershy. What brings you two round today?" And then Pinkie just gets straight to the point. "Applejack, we're going to have hugs now." We need to have AJ look initially confused, because, again, this is Pinkie we're talking about, but still. She'll roll with it. Sure thing, Sugar Cube. So, this is me adapting it from the story, because in the story, as it was written initially, Pinkie moves into hug, but Applejack preempts her, and does the hug, well, basically on her own accord. Exactly what hug poses I do is going to depend more on what assets I have than what I want the story to do. Because ponies interacting in this way, it's not their default. Most of the time they're standing around on their own, so there's a lot less assets, poses, whatever, for ponies hugging each other than there are just ponies standing around. So while I have written it down like this, what I actually do will just depend on what is most expedient, probably. And then again, hugs can say things. "I'm so happy we're friends, and I'll always be here for you." You may notice that they all say the same thing. So Pinkie always says, "I'm happy we're friends," and Fluttershy will always say, what did Fluttershy say? "I'm so lucky to have you," and Applejack says, "I'll always be here for you." So now, Applejack rightly asks, what's going on? So, again, Pinkie needs to explain to Applejack, because after midnight, hugs are going to cost more money, and they might end up being really expensive. So we've got a bit more just general confusion here, so whoa, hold on a second there, Pinkie, what the hell are y'all talking about? Gah, does no pony read the papers? What? The paper said that hugs are gonna cost money? That's just ridiculous. It's in the paper, and they're not gonna start costing money, the costs are gonna soar, Applejack. That means they're gonna go really, really high. Yeah, I know what soar means, Pinkie. Now, this is where we start to have the first little foray into economic theory. Now, this is something that I did need to rein in from the story, because the story is fun and is generally quite well written, but it does go off on a bit of a tangent sometimes, and I don't want to have just ponies standing around explaining economic theory. So I have had to cut this a little bit, and I might try and cut it a bit more, I don't know. Gabby Gums is at it again. Again, I'm going to neither confirm nor deny any theories. So, Applejack is the first to challenge Pinkie on this, I think. So, if it's right, and hugs costing money is going to be a thing, why are you worried? You've got more hugs to give than any pony I know. Because if they're too expensive, I won't be able to afford to give them. What if giving hugs becomes a once-an-hour thing? Or a once-a-day thing? Or a once-a-week thing? What if I have to choose who gets a hug and who doesn't because I don't have enough bits? It's too much. So Applejack's saying, well, Pinkie's got more hugs to give than anyone else, so if anything, the price of hugs going up is good for Pinkie. You see, the value of her assets is going up. But Pinkie sees it the other way. She thinks she has to pay to give hugs, and she's worried about what if it becomes too expensive to give hugs? What if it becomes a case of having to be selective? So, Applejack says, no, Pinkie, you're looking at it the wrong way. You've got a lot of hugs to give, lots of ponies want hugs, you're not going to have to worry about running out of bits, you're going to have to worry about where to put them all. Once again, the idea is Pinkie's going to be giving out the hugs, and therefore she gets the money. And then Pinkie says, no. Applejack, confused, says, no? Because again, Applejack knows about money. She runs the farm. So this makes sense to her, but Pinkie ain't having it. That's not what hugs are. That's not what they're for. But that's how trade works. You're the ones giving out hugs and receiving bits in exchange. No, yells Pinkie. Now, I have an idea here for this next little tirade. Because Pinkie's going to go to a little... Well, she's going to start creating scenarios in her head. And I'm thinking I can save a bit of animation effort if these little Pinkie thought experiments become these little slideshows, I guess, with maybe like a film grain effect put over it. Just an idea for now. But what if it all went wrong? Here, on your farm. What if one year the apple trees all got blighted, your trees all die and you're broke, you're desperate, you're crying yourself to sleep every night in a freezing cold bed hoping things will turn around but it's not happening, you're not sure how to go on, you're not sure if you can. What happens then? Again, Pinkie going off the rails in casual Pinkie fashion. And then Applejack again confused, Pinkie, and then Pinkie shushes her like, shh, I'll tell you what happens then. You get a hug. So again, this is Pinkie teaching Applejack what a hug really is. Hugs are not products. You don't want a hug right now, Applejack. You need one. You need a warm, happy cuddle from a best friend right by your side to cheer you up and help you get back under the saddle. But you don't have any bits to spare. You can't afford one. I won't live in a world where the only ponies who ever get hugs are the ponies who can afford to buy them. That's a world where the ponies who need hugs the most get them the least. That's not my Equestria, Applejack and Fluttershy. That's not even Griffinstone. No. The only way this can possibly work is if the pony who takes responsibility for making their friend feel better with a hug also assumes responsibility for paying for it. And most often that pony is me. So maybe you can see what I'm getting at here with things being a bit wordy. So stuff like this I feel like I do kinda need to cut down a bit. Because again, how long did that take me to read? 20 seconds? But every one of these sentences is going to be a long time in 15AI getting it to sound right. It's going to be picking out the right pose, the right animation to do. And it's also just generally going to be more time. And a lot of the time, well, I'm sure you've all heard the mantra, show, don't tell. Long strings of dialogue are not as effective at communicating an idea as is just showing something. So this is something I think I need to revisit. I don't quite know how to do it yet, and I don't think I'm going to put too much thought into it right now. I'm sure it's something that I can fix later down the line, but this is like scene 3. I'm going to worry about scenes 1 and 2 before I worry about scene 3. Right now, I'm looking for things that are glaringly missing. 20 seconds in a 20-minute video is a long time that needs to be used wisely. Yes, exactly. So, basically, the idea that Pinkie's trying to communicate here is that hugs are not traditional commodities. It's not right to charge money for hugs. If you have to charge money for hugs, those who need the hugs the most will get them less, which means it's only sensible that the person giving the pony giving the hugs is the one who pays, and most of the time that pony is Pinkie. Moving on, Applejack asks, well, a very prudent question. Who are you paying, Pinkie? I mean, I sure wouldn't want you to think you had to pay me for the privilege of hugging me, so where are those bits going? Now, this is where we get the first big aha reveal moment, I think. Well, the paper didn't say, but the paper did say it's going to happen. So, if I don't want the bits, and you don't want the bits, some pony else must be collecting them. But how would they know about every hug? How would they record what each pony owed? Oh no, there's going to be a form, isn't there? A super boring, long form you have to fill in for every hug you want to give. But who could be so meticulous and methodical so as to require a form for every hug? And who has the connections to make such a thing happen? Well, I think we have an idea of who's behind this now. Come on, Applejack and Fluttershy. We're gonna have to take this right to the top. So I think most of you can probably guess where this is going. But before we go there, Pinkie, well, whirls around and starts heading back to Ponyville, and this scene ends with Applejack and Fluttershy looking at each other in confusion. But they give each other a hug. Very nice. And then Pinkie turns around and goes, "Gah! And who pays for that one?" And then we end the scene. So, in this scene, we've established that it makes no sense for the pony giving the hug to be paying, and it makes no sense for the pony receiving the hug to be paying. And that means whoever is charging money for the hugs is some mysterious entity, someone who's part of the system. I mean, you've already guessed where this is going, right? So let's just go there, shall we? But first, we're back in Ponyville, and Pinkie encounters a cloud while walking down the street. Rainbow Dash is sleeping on the cloud. She yells up to Rainbow Dash, and Rainbow is annoyed. Pinkie, well, she's looking to multitask. She wants to hug Rainbow Dash on her way to her destination. Rainbow is not entirely enthusiastic, and just says, nah, and goes back to sleep. Pinkie is exasperated, yelling up to Rainbow, "Come on, we need the hug." Pinkie, remember when you told me to warn you when you were acting all loop-de-doo? No? Maybe I dreamed it. Anyway, you're doing it right now. Come back later when you've burned off whatever sugar rush you've got going on. In the meantime, it's nap time. And Rainbow just goes back to sleep. Never mind, we'll come back for her later. Right now, we need those answers. And they set off again. Towards... Well, I don't know why I'm bothering with any suspense here. You all know where we're going. In the tree library, Twilight is shelving some books with Spike, when all of a sudden the door slams open, Pinkie rushes in and seizes Twilight in a hug, with Spike just barely jumping out the way. Pinkie yells in an accusatory manner, "Admit it, Twilight. This was your idea. Why would you do this? Why?" Twilight rightly says, "Pinkie, put me down." "No, Twilight. I'm gonna hug you for as long as it takes until you understand how amazing hugs are and you stop your crazy anti-hug scheme." And since Pinkie's doing the hug, hugs talk, and this is an aggressive, high-energy hug, I'm so happy we're friends. The same thing that Pinkie's hugs always say. The greatest and powerful Trixie requires your hug tax for a wagon expansion. It sounds like something reasonable she would actually try. Okay, Twilight. This is going to be something that's difficult to do. She's going to be exasperated and running out of breath and being squeezed. I don't know how well the AI is going to be able to do this kind of voice, but something like, "Could some pony please tell me what's going on?" Oh, I've just noticed I've written someone instead of some pony. There you go. AJ and Fluttershy enter, and Applejack says, "Well, we're just about figuring that out ourselves." Fluttershy gives the barest explanation of Pinkie reading it in the newspaper, and she's worried about hugs costing money. Now, this is another one of Pinkie's imagined scenarios. So what I'm imagining here is various scenes around Ponyville in kind of like a washed out grayscale, not quite grayscale, but washed out colors. And everything in Ponyville. You remember when Trixie came back to Ponyville with the Alicorn amulet and set up those banners of Trixie everywhere after she kicked Twilight out, beating her in the magic duel? I'm imagining some kind of authoritarian dictatorial regime change with Twilight at the head of it. These banners of Twilight all over the place. And who's the one pony in Ponyville who would try to introduce town-wide hug-based legislation? Twilight Sparkle. So, we're doing another one of these ideas of the slideshow thing that I mentioned earlier with Applejack. Twilight's tired of ponies giving each other completely unregulated hugs, day in, day out, and now she wants to change everything by getting ponies to fill out really long and boring forms for every hug, and they want to... for every... Fucking hell, I can't fucking speak. I've been doing this too long. She's tired of ponies giving each other completely unregulated hugs, day in, day out, and now she wants to charge everything. Everything. I've just written that wrong. No, she wants to change everything. I'm reading it right, I'm just fucking blind right now. And now she wants to change everything by getting ponies to fill out really long and boring forms for every hug they want to give, and then make them pay bits for giving them. It won't work, Twilight. Hugs can't be stopped with red tape. All it will do is force free-thinking, hug-loving ponies underground, closeting themselves in shady corners, giving each other illicit nuzzles far from the prying eyes of authority, bravely risking criminalization under the inevitable uprising that liberates them. Viva la revolution! This is definitely a Pinkie thing. This is definitely something Pinkie would do. And then with every single one of these little accusations, and I'm thinking of just having the slideshow cut to one more pony. So 2 ponies in an alleyway looking both ways carefully before giving themselves a little nuzzle, and then away from the prying eyes of authority, just a big silhouette of Twilight looking over in anger. How dare you? And now we cut back to the library, because again, this was Pinkie's mind imagination. Twilight is like, Pinkie, come on! Spike says, I think you're gonna have to put her back down, Pinkie. She's turning purple. Get it? You know what I mean. You know, because Pinkie's squeezing Twilight a lot. Oops, sorry. That's okay, Pinkie, but I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never asked for anything like that, and I never would. Why would I? Pinkie, again, confused. So it wasn't you? That must mean there's another pony in power purporting to peddle this pernicious plan. Or maybe it was all just a misunderstanding, Pinkie. Which paper was this exactly? Now, this is another wordy bit that I might try to cut down, but... The Ponyville Chronicle. Again, that's the newspaper that Pinkie was reading. Today's edition. But of course, the Ponyville Chronicle is owned by the Canterlot Chronicle. This news must have broken in Canterlot, and it means the ponies responsible are Princess Celestia and Princess Luna. I have to stop them. I must confront the 2 most powerful ponies in Equestria, and give them both non-stop hugs until they see the error of their ways and recant this wrong. Twilight, ever the voice of reason. Pinkie, look, I can guarantee you that the princesses haven't come up with any kind of scheme to tax ponies for the hugs they give. But, rather than having you go all the way to Canterlot to find that out, how about I get you confirmation writing right now? Would that make you feel better? Pinkie, yeah, she goes along with it, she nods. Twilight's like, okay, Spike, take a letter. But Spike, at that exact moment, just sends a letter with his dragon breath. Already done. Twilight says, confused, like, how did you know what I wanted to write? But Spike knows. I mean, all this time he's just been off-screen just writing the letter. He already knew that he was going to be called to do that. And then while they wait for their reply, Pinkie gives Twilight her real hug. And then Spike leans in. That'll be 5 bits, please. Now, this is another wordy bit. Or not quite wordy bit. This is one where Pinkie's just realizing exactly how many hugs there are going to be. And I might just cut this entire thing out. I'll read through it first. So, Spike is giving the question, I don't get it. You're saying you'll have to pay bits for every hug you give, right? But surely if you're giving a hug to some pony, aren't you always getting one at the same time? Shouldn't it all just balance out? But Pinkie, like, or it would cost double. So, Pinkie wants to get to the bottom of this. She moves Applejack and Fluttershy over to Twilight and commands them to hug. Like, 3-way group hug. And then Pinkie, as they're doing their hug, says, It is as I feared. Look, Spike, how many hugs do you see? 1. It's a group hug. Yes. And no, don't you see? Twilight's hugging Fluttershy, Fluttershy's hugging Applejack, Applejack's hugging Twilight, but Applejack's also hugging Fluttershy, Fluttershy's hugging Twilight, and Twilight is hugging Applejack. That's 6 hugs. What if all of us want a group hug? That's going to be like 30 hugs, and if we count you, that's 42. We're never going to be able to afford an all of us together hug again. So, I think addressing the idea of how group hugs are going to just cost exponentially more is relevant, but I'm not convinced it really adds that much to the story. That's why I'm considering cutting it. I'm leaving it in for now, but if any large section was up for the chopping block, this is probably the lead candidate right now. But, having realised how expensive group hugs are going to be, Pinkie goes, well, just reinforces the idea, like, it must be so important. I have to make sure everyone gets a last free hug before the day is out. And then she runs out of the library. And just as she leaves, Spike gets a letter. He reads, "My dearest Twilight, we are somewhat concerned by your proposal. If Ponyville is suffering some economic hardship, rest assured we can think of many ways to improve the financial health of the town without resorting to draconian measures. If you're worried or need help, then you know we are always here for you, but we hope you will reconsider this course of action. With love, always, Princesses Celestia and Luna." What? They think it was my idea? Spike, what exactly did you write? Nothing that would have given them that impression. They're clearly as confused as we are. Hey, what are draconian measures anyway? Is it something to do with dragons? I'll demonstrate draconian measures on you unless you help me fix this. Take another letter. Fast. And then we end the scene. So, what have we done here? Pinkie has burst into the library and accused Twilight of being behind the hug plan. She's gone through Twilight's whole backstory, how she got to this point, and how she's going to become an evil dictator. Twilight has assured Pinkie that it's not her, and then because of that, Pinkie then assumes that it's Celestia and Luna. We do a bit of a group hug thing to demonstrate group hugs cost exponentially more than single hugs, which makes Pinkie even more worried, and then she dashes out the library, and then we get a letter back from the princesses saying, "What the fuck are you on about, Twilight? We're not going to start charging money for hugs." Hello, Hazy. So, like I say, the group hugs... maybe I can do a group hug, but I might try and find a way to, I don't know, just make it quicker. Maybe it can just be a throwaway line of, what about group hugs? Like, every group hug is going to be made up of X amount of hugs. They're going to cost exponentially more. Rather than going to the effort of actually forcibly demonstrating it. I don't know, it's... Anyway. We'll worry about that later. That's going to be the theme of this entire project. Of many projects, actually. Let's just worry about that later. So, next scene. We're now back outside in Ponyville. Pinkie's going off to Carousel Boutique, and she encounters Rainbow Dash on her cloud again. Calls up to her, gets no response. Pinkie, annoyed, turns around and goes into Carousel Boutique. So, we're now viewing the inside of Carousel Boutique. Everything's all calm and serene for a few seconds, and then, all of a sudden, door slams open, Pinkie bursts in the door, and the bell dings, signaling a customer. Rarity comes in and says, "Welcome to Carousel Boutique." "Oh, hello, Pinkie. How are you doing, darling? It's so wonderful to see you. Anything I can help you with? A new gown, perhaps?" "Close. I've come for hugs." "Oh, well, that I can most certainly assist with." So, Rarity's very cooperative. They give each other a hug, and then Rarity just goes, "Well, what was all that about?" Ah, nothing, just making sure my friends get a final free hug before the prices soar tomorrow. Oh, that headline in the paper, you mean? You read it? Yes, though I do confess it didn't make much sense to me. I'd taken it for some sort of error. But you're not worried about it? Well, if the paper is to be believed, we'll adapt. I'm sure it wouldn't be too bad once every pony got used to it, and who knows, a few bits spent in service of a luxurious hug like that one might even make them all the more special. See, we're already thinking about things in extravagance and luxury, but Pinkie is horrified. Who's a silly pony? I'll let the chat decide who's a silly pony. There you go. Come to SciTube, we have better remotes. Well, if the paper is to be believed, well, oh yeah, I already read that. So, hugs aren't luxuries, Rarity, they're for every pony. They're basics, like food or water or air. If they're priced like luxury items, they'll be so expensive that only really rich ponies will be able to afford to give hugs at all. What if I can't afford to give them? What if I have to choose who to give hugs to because I can't afford all my friends? What if some get left out? So we're kind of retreading old ground here. Because we already kind of went over this with Applejack. So maybe I'll cut that? We'll see. Think of it this way, darling. It's in every pony's interest to continue giving hugs. The more hugs given by you and other ponies who can afford them, the less expensive they'll be. Ah, more hugs equals cheap hugs? But how? Supply and demand, darling. Why, it's the basis for determining the value of any commodity. Now I'm thinking about, for this, maybe animating like a supply and demand graph, like slideshow fashion. That shouldn't be too hard to do. And I did do A-level economics, so I do know what a supply and demand graph is. But anyway, Rarity is now going to explain the very basics of supply and demand. Take my business as an example. I produce only the finest dresses and gowns, individually sewing them all. Each and every one of them is one of a kind and a work of art, and that of course any pony would love to have them. Low supply, high demand equals premium prices. In its simplest form, the rule goes that the greater the supply of something, and the lower the demand for it, the less expensive it must be. And so it seems to me that the same must hold true for hugs. As long as the supply remains high, and demand remains low, then hug giving will be affordable, even those on the tightest of budgets. Now, Pinkie is deep in thought. Did that all make sense, Pinkie dear? Before midnight? Pardon me? All of Ponyville? Wait, what? Rarity, thank you so much. I know what I have to do. If I can make a hug for every pony in Ponyville before midnight, then suddenly demands for hugs will be super low, and supply will be super high, and hugs will be super cheap. Gotta go. And then Pinkie zooms out the boutique, leaving Rarity stunned. Oh dear. And that's the end of that scene. So the next 30 to 45 seconds is just going to be a Pinkie hugging montage. Hi Daisy, you look great. Can I hug you? Hug. That sort of thing. So Pinkie's just going to pop up and hug ponies. And it's just going to be a load of that. All my episodes are going to be financially flavored? It just seems that economics is something that is easy to make comedy about? Maybe? I don't know. It is a bit of a coincidence, though. So this is just Pinkie popping up to ponies and saying, hey, can I hug you? So this is just going to be a, shall we say, a quick fire round of hugs. So we've got a montage of Pinkie hugging lots of ponies. I'm going to say all still images, probably, because I'm going to animate maybe like the first 3 or so. Like, I've got Daisy, I've got Lyra, and I've got Bonbon. It doesn't have to be those 3. Again, it'll probably be just whoever's got the best assets. And then just a quick little montage of still images of Pinkie giving hugs to lots of ponies. And then we come to the last pony to receive a hug, I'm thinking it's probably going to be Derpy. Probably. Pony. So I've just called it Pony for now. It's probably going to be Derpy, though. Pinkie gives the last pony a hug, and it's now, darker. So it's now getting... it's getting late. Both in Ponyville and here. It's now 11 PM, and I'm starting to feel tired. But we're nearing the end of the episode. Or the script, I guess. So, we're now back in the town centre, and Pinkie slumps over in exhaustion. Phew, finally. That's all ponies taken care of. Except one. And she walks up to Rainbow Dash's cloud. Rainbow Dash, I'd like to hug you, please. Pinkie, I told you. I'm good, alright? Don't worry about it. Oh, okay. Pinkie's sad, because Rainbow's not going to get her hug. Hey, I know I can nap with the best of them, but it's dark. How long was I out? What time is it? It's not long till midnight. Oh, now that's gotta be some kind of record. I'm sorry you didn't get your hug, Rainbow Dash. Ah, no sweat, Pinkie. I promise I'll start saving so you can have one soon. Huh? And then, off-screen, we're gonna have Twilight yelling, Pinkie, there you are. Twi and the others trot over to meet Pinkie. We missed you at Rarities. We've been trying to get hold of you all afternoon, but you just wouldn't keep still. Are you alright, Pinkie? Asks Fluttershy. Rarity says, You do look somewhat down, darling. Whatever is the matter? Pinkie, very sad. Rainbow Dash doesn't want her hug. Applejack is very disapproving of this. Well, let's just see about that. Fluttershy, could you be a dear and fly up quietly and pull that cloud down? You know, the simple solution. Fluttershy's Pegasus flies up, brings down the cloud. Rainbow, like, I can hear you, you know. Oh, well, I think she might fly away if we tried that. Also, I think she can hear us. Good point. Twilight, could you use some magic, perhaps? Applejack, bored of this, steps in. I got her, and she just lassos Rainbow down to the ground. Rainbow, alright, fine, sheesh. Come on then, let's get this over with. Pinkie bounces over and gives Rainbow a hug. Rainbow isn't very enthusiastic. But wait. The hug didn't say anything. It wasn't a real hug. What are you talking about? You put your hooves around me and I didn't buck you into next week. That's exactly a hug. No, it isn't. It didn't tell me how I feel. Pretty sure I figured it out. That's not the point, and you didn't tell me how you felt either. Could some pony please explain what's going on right now? Rainbow very confused and annoyed at this point. Pinkie's very exacerbated right now. Listen carefully, because I'm only going to say this once more. The newspaper told me that after midnight, giving hugs is going to cost money because there's a raw material shortage, which means the hugs are going to be regulated with boring forms and they're going to get really expensive really quickly, and I've been doing my best to whip out hugs for every pony in town today to keep them cheap enough for every pony to give once the price hike comes in, and that includes giving all my best friends the best hug I can in case I can't afford them after tomorrow, and you're one of my best friends, so I need to give you a real hug. Whew. Almost did that perfectly, but this is intended to be one of Pinkie's run-on ranting sentences. So even though this is a long thing, I intend this to be rattled off really, really quickly. I don't know how well 15's going to handle that. Hopefully well. I might have to cheat and use TalkNet. Even though 15 doesn't like you doing that. Like, you know, doing the mixing of AIs, but... yeah. Again, we'll worry about it. Raw material shortage? Pinkie, that's ridiculous. Are you even listening to yourself? Hugs aren't something you can run out of. In fact, it sounds like the only ingredient you've run out of is ponies who want a hug. So, there is a raw material shortage? Well, kinda. And then we do a quick flashback through all the hugs. Pinkie says, and I'm the one who caused it? Well, the ponies try to comfort Pinkie by moving in for a hug. Pinkie's like, no, stay away, I still want hugs. I might be the only pony left who does. That means I have to not have hugs so I can always want them and there's enough raw materials to, it's so confusing. And then Pinkie, in exasperation, zooms off. So I've put in a little stage direction here. After this, there was apparently a load of extra dialogue from the main 6, and that I've just straight up decided to cut. Like, again, written in the original story, I've not carried it over here. We're just going straight over to Sugar Cube Corner, and it's dark. Pinkie is sitting at a table staring at a small pile of bits, maybe even a little piggy bank. Maybe, surely someone out there has designed, like, a Pinkie Pie themed piggy bank, right? There's got to be something like that. Anyway, the door opens, the store bell rings, and the ponies walk in. Twilight comes in saying, Pinkie? Pinkie's all sad, saying, I'm over here. Pinkie, we came to talk to you. We all talked and we think we've finally figured out why you're so upset. Well, this is where things all start to get better. Applejack, I reckon it hit home what you said to me earlier, Pinkie. That there's times in ponies' lives when they're feeling really rotten, cursed with doubt, wondering if the world's turned against them. Times when you need a best friend right there next to you, cheering you up because nothing else will. In those moments, when it gets real dark and lonely, I reckon the right hug at the right time from the right pony might just be the most valuable thing in the world. And AJ comes in to hug Pinkie. I'll always be here for you. Huh? Wait, Applejack, stop! It's gonna cost money. But then Rarity interrupts. But the moment an actual value gets put on that hug, you end up taking the specialness away. A hug goes from being a freely given, heartfelt expression of love to just another transaction in the minds of all involved. Something that was once truly priceless, becoming worthless. Rarity joins in the hug and gives her little echoey, well, like, you know, what the hug means. I wouldn't trade you for the world. Pinkie is again exasperated. Twilight again gives her thoughts. Again, I'm thinking I might need to try and take at least 1 or 2 sentences out of each of these, but anyway. We know you, Pinkie, and we know the most important thing in the world to you is that your friends are happy. You throw us parties at the drop of a hat. You keep notes of the little things every pony likes, and if one of us is ever feeling sad, you're the first one there. How better to cheer us up than by giving us something special that shows us just how much you care about us, something the bits just can't buy. And how awful it must have been when you thought that suddenly that was something that only bits could buy. A hug wouldn't be an expression of how much you cared about us anymore, just an expression of how much you could afford. Twilight joins the hug and says, it wouldn't be me without you, in her little hug voice. Pinkie's still exasperated, but Rainbow moves in. You know what? I'm going to change this slightly. I'm going to put Fluttershy first, and then Rainbow second. Because since Rainbow was saying she didn't want the hug earlier, it's going to be more impactful if she's last, I think. So, Fluttershy joins in. But you mean just as much as we do to you, Pinkie. We all finally saw just how upset you were, and what you do for a best friend who's sad, full of worry, and wondering why the world's turned so mean and nasty. Well, they need hugs. Fluttershy joins the hug. But you'd know. Ah, okay. Right, so I've just gone and changed the order all willy-nilly, but now the wording doesn't make sense, because Rainbow's sentence is following on from this, an expression of how much you could afford, but you never let that stop you. Can I rejig this so that Rainbow says is the last one to join the hug? I mean... Okay, I'm going to do what's called a pro-gamer move, okay? Watch this. I'm going to do this. Check this out, alright? This is an advanced strategy here. There you go. So it's now the exact same dialogue, but now a different pony is saying it. But you mean just as much to us as we do to you, Pinkie. We all finally saw just how upset you were. And what do you do for our best friends who's sad, full of worry, and wondering why the world's turned mean and nasty? Well, they need hugs. And Rainbow finally joins in the hug. Finally, Pinkie gives in and joins in the hug herself. Pinkie now says, out loud, not in hug voice, I'm just so happy we're friends. We know, Sugar Cube, says Applejack. You've been telling us all day, says Rarity. The hug breaks, but Rainbow Dash remains. And they finally give each other their own proper individual hug. And Pinkie, okay, now that was a 6-pony group hug, which is bound to attract a premium, but if we all agree to spread the cost between us, we should be okay when it comes to... Pinkie, it's not happening. Didn't we make that clear? No. Yeah, maybe you should have led with that. Pinkie, I don't know what was wrong with that headline you read, but with the assurance of Princess Celestia and Princess Luna, I can absolutely guarantee that you will never have to pay out bits to either give or receive any hug ever. Or fell out of form. Pinkie is very happy to hear this. All the tension is relieved, and she just shouts, yay! Alright, we're getting to the end now. Come on, Pinkie, it is pretty ridiculous. You already drove yourself round the bend trying to figure out how it would work. It makes 0 sense. As concepts go, it is pretty flimsy. Indeed, can you really imagine a world where ponies would be willing to pay money simply to procure a physical act of love? That doesn't sound like it would be a very nice place to live at all. I'm just glad it's over, says Applejack. It is over, right? Pinkie confirms it's over. Everyone sighs in relief, and Pinkie just goes, you guys are the best. So Rainbow, still a little nervous. We're not hugging again, are we? Because I feel like we've kind of done that to death today. And Pinkie finally admitting defeat. You know what? After hugging my way through all of Ponyville, I'm good. And pretty beat too, I'll wager. Might have been a mistake calling on you so late, Pinkie, but we were worried. We couldn't bear the thought of you carrying on like that 1 minute longer than you had to. But Applejack's right. Every pony needs their beauty sleep. And we should probably let you get some rest. Twilight ends the conversation with, good night, Pinkie. We'll see you tomorrow. The ponies all leave, and we transition to the final scene. The next morning. Pinkie is back outside Sugar Cube Corner, and she's reading a newspaper. And this is the newspaper that Pinkie is reading. So yeah, you remember the newspaper? It's a daily newspaper. Well, this is now the headline. Local maniac hugs every pony. I'm not going to acknowledge that with dialogue, it's just going to be in there as a little Easter egg for anyone who's paying attention. And we come to the final little round of dialogue with Pinkie. So Pinkie's back outside Sugar Cube Corner, eating breakfast and reading the paper. She picks up the newspaper, and she turns to a page, and it says, correction, price of rugs set to soar. Price of rugs set to soar? The Black Sheep Company reveals the reasons for their sudden strike action and the effect it would have on the supply of sheep's wool in Equestria. Oh. Right. So, price of hugs set to soar? No. Price of rugs set to soar. Because the sheep are going on strike, which is causing a raw material shortage because there's no sheep's wool. That's what caused all of this. That makes way more sense, Gummy. Gummy gives a little lopsided blink. Pinkie gasps, you're right. I should go find all my friends and give them the good news, along with some celebration hugs. Or maybe I should tell all my friends about the price of rugs, and then freak out and try to buy every pony in town a cheap rug. Either way. Now, this is the ending of the story as written in well, the story. But this isn't dialogue. So I'm thinking I won't have that, I'll just have Pinkie pronks off. Pronks off. She goes off screen. And then maybe we zoom into Gummy, who does a little lopsided blink, you know. And then with that, we end. Okay. So, how long did it take me to explain that? Probably like half an hour. Probably more than that. And if it took me that long to talk through it, most of the time reading the script, it's probably going to be at least that long, properly voiced and animated. Hence my slight concern with the quote-unquote wordy bits in there. I don't know, maybe it can be, I can call it like the Rainbow Road Trip special or something, where it's basically a double episode. So, like I said, it would be nice if it was 22 minutes and 4 seconds. I'm not going to force it to be that. But as it is right now, I do think the script does have a bit too much in it. So yeah, there is going to be a cut, hold, close, transition to black, that sort of thing. Gummy licks his eyeball? That sounds like it's going to be a pain in the arse to animate. Like, it would just be way easier to do a blink. But yeah, I think it's okay to zoom in on Gummy. Alright, so how's it going? I hope everyone's doing well. Yeah, we're doing okay. I've organised most of my assets, I think. I've gone through the script, and I've identified probably the need to pare it down a bit. However, I am happy with the opening scene, as I already stated. This one. So where Pinkie is sitting outside Sugar Cube Corner, reads the newspaper, goes, "Oh no, hugs are gonna cost money. I must give every pony a final free hug before midnight." So I'm happy enough with that. And then, like I've been saying, I'm going to worry about everything else a little later. So it's now coming up to 20 past 11. It's probably time that I leave for today. You watched the Twilight Tax video some days ago. Good to know. It's still getting a steady income of views. I'm very surprised by how much. I mean, I'm doing the classic YouTuber thing, like, oh, I never expected it to blow up in this way, but no, genuinely, I didn't. And apparently people, even today, are still watching it for the first time, which I find crazy. I did say I wanted to make more, and I fully intend to. 15AI is down, but I've finally come to not allow that to be a valid excuse. I can still storyboard, I can still organize, and I can still do the animation, to which I can later add the voice lines. And that's going to be what I think I start with tomorrow. I'm gonna... Right, so my list of tasks is going to be asking Synthbot to, my friend Synthbot, to render icons for the props, in the same way that I had for the backgrounds, because right now they're all just the vectors, which are difficult to view. So the thing is, in Windows natively, you can't view vectors in the File Explorer. You have to get an extension to make that work. And it always takes a long time to load those thumbnails. So browsing through when you're looking for like a ball or a tree or a chair or something to add to a scene, it can take forever. But you can convert them to PNG and render them in a low resolution just simply for using as an icon. So that's going to be my main action item. And then that's it, really. I mean, that'll just be a simple message that I need to send out. Shouldn't be too hard to do. And then we come back tomorrow, where I guess I'm going to have to commit properly to learning how to do to do Vegas. Like the video editing software. Because like I said, I'm moving away from Blender. Because fuck Blender, honestly. I'm cutting myself free of the shackles. Okay. Good organizing. And then good reading through the script. Gotten my head back in the game. Good debugging my stream to make sure everything works properly. And good just saying hello to everyone again, assuring you all that I'm not dead. Right, so I'm gonna call it here. Fluttershy, Twilight going crazy reminds you of Frank Grimes. Yep. Like the one crazy person in the sane world, or the one sane person in the crazy world, whichever way you want to look at it. You had no idea what to work off of even when 15AI came back temporarily. If it's any consolation, I wouldn't have, even if that version of 15AI was up. I did actually try to use that temporary version of 15AI to do a few of these lines, but after spending like 2 hours trying to do 2 lines, I decided no, I just don't like this version of 15AI enough. It's not good enough. 15 needs to return it to the training dungeon for 2 more weeks. Okay. So, this is your first time meeting me. Well, it doesn't have to be the last. I stream most of what I do here, preferably on the SciTube. So you'll look at the top of the chat, you'll see a pinned message. At least I hope you do. I mean, I put it there. Hopefully YouTube actually shows it to you. That's what the thing on the side is. That's what the extra chat is. So, I'll be back tomorrow at roughly the same time, and most days after that. Because I am going to stream most of this process. Alright. For real now, I'm going to head off. So I'll see you all tomorrow at about the same time again. Thanks for being here, and I hope you were somehow able to derive some kind of enjoyment from this. I say this all the time, I have no idea how people enjoy watching these streams, but hey. If I was able to provide you some entertainment or some inspiration... Oh boy, it's December. Ah, so much to do. Alright. Thank you guys, I'll see you later. Bye.